You're watching Suck Professor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by... James. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 13 of Twin Peaks Season 3, The Return. Or on Amazon, it's known as Season 1 of Twin Peaks, The Return.
A little misleading.
Confused? So am I. Sorry, what a terrible way to start a YouTube video. Welcome to our channel, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Apologies for the delay. That's what I wanted to get to. We had a slight snag. Weren't able to get to it yesterday, but we're doing it now, so we had a 24-hour setback, but we apologize. We're just two dudes doing the best we can.
I can explain that.
Oh, explain it.
I was the one who was caught in the office late. I didn't get home in time, so we really couldn't do it, so it's on me. And I wanted to take an opportunity to thank people for commenting, because I'm sitting in a very boring, very quiet, very lonely office all day long. When I take a break and check comments, it's very nice to see you guys comment. I read each one probably like 20 times over the course of the day, so if you're commenting and you think it doesn't matter, know that it does matter, and I appreciate everyone, even the people who say funny things.
There's a lot of funny things.
Yeah.
The printed photo of me that I gave you for your birthday, that doesn't make you not lonely in your cubicle?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Devastated. I guess I'll have to get you a bigger one.
How did you know it was my birthday?
I didn't.
It's the 13th.
Ah, James was born on Friday the 13th.
Which I was about to say. Well,
yeah.
No, what? I wish I was.
Well, I'm saying, like, whatever that comes around, like, twice a year, it's your
yeah,
birthday.
Yeah, I was about to say 13 is my lucky number because I was born on the 13th. Episode 13, this is my lucky episode.
All right, good, great. Can't wait to animate all this nonsense. Not that what you're saying is nonsense. I'm saying that the animation is tedious and obnoxious, and I kind of regret starting it every single time. So, but, hey, why don't we talk about the episode, which is what people came here for.
I should also mention I had a very long day at work, so this can of Coke Zero was about 80% moonshine. So if we keep this long, I might not be all there.
Well, that'll be hilarious.
Okay.
Drunk James is a real treat, everybody. I send him on missions, and that's usually just go get me Doritos. Okay, here we go. Opening shot on Laura Palmer, opacity effect with the little halo thing and the light there, and then okay, here we go, guys. The Twin Peaks logo. We got curtains and stuff. The crazy floor. Whoa, where's it going to end up this time? All right, now back to the David Bowie statue.
Oh, here's an interesting thing I can tell you about this.
Hold on, let me correct that. It's not David Bowie.
No,
we don't. That's just a running gag around here. All right, go ahead.
But I did see where they shot this scene, or they shoot this particular sequence, and apparently they use some sort of nylon fabric or something, and they wrap, for that thing in the back, and they wrap it around these two metallic sculptures that are kind of opposed to one another, and they create this shape, and they put like red balloons on it. So that sculpture does not exist. It's made out of fabric, and it is over top of an existing sculpture.
They couldn't get licensing for it or something like that?
And that statue obviously is not there.
This is part of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I like the balloons. That's a nice touch. This makes me think of like those models of molecules or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know why. All right, let's keep going anyway. Okay, so the scene opens. We're at Bushnell. Obviously, you know that. And we got a little dance party, a kukaranga. Is that what they call that?
A conga line.
Conga line. La cucaracha. Is that? That's
close enough.
All right. Well, anyway, it's the
Mitchum brothers.
Mitchum brothers with their Stepford wife servant.
Yes.
Dancing girls.
So the funny thing about these guys is the first time we're introduced to them, we see them in the back room of the casino that Mr. Jackpots, Mr. Dougie Jones, is having his winning streak with the help of the lodge, and they are imposing, intimidating individuals.
They're They're like rich goons.
Scared. They're people with very little joy in their eyes who want to only crush people down in the favor of money.
As are all people who wear pinky rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we see them here doing a complete 180 from that, where they're literally dancing with quirky music playing, doing a conga line with Dougie, who is having the time of his life, apparently, which is pretty funny.
I did like that Dougie. I didn't notice he was there right away.
Yeah.
And now they persuade him to be so human.
Yeah.
But he's just a go along, get along guy.
It's almost as though they're behaving childish, and he comprehends that at the level that he's on currently.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And we should mention the whole reason they're happy about this is because they found out that they're getting the $30 million insurance benefit, which they were informed was done at the behest of the work of Dougie Jones. So before they wanted to kill him because they thought he was responsible for them losing their insurance claim and for stealing a lot of money from the casino, about $400 and some odd thousand. I always get the number wrong, so I'm not going to say it this time.
Sure.
But now they love him.
The Belushi guy who had the pie dream, and then Dougie had the box with the pie.
Exactly. The seven.
And then the $30 million they found when they frisked.
The desert, what's in the box scene.
Yeah. It was Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman was there. All right, sorry. And then anyway, so Tom Sizemore,
or Anthony Sinclair, as the show calls him.
Well, let's keep it in reality here, James. He's like, oh God, whoa, because his whole mission, he's supposed to kill Dougie.
Right. He
right?
was ordered by Duncan Todd, who he's been working for in secret on the other side, doing like insurance scams and frauds and things like that. He was ordered that if he does not coerce the Mitchum brothers, who are also clients of Duncan Todd, to kill Dougie Jones, who he has also been tasked to kill by Philip Jeffries,
right.
then Anthony Sinclair himself will have to perform the deed. And he is not a man who has the constitution to commit murder.
He's in over his head.
Yeah, he might be a slimeball. He might be, a cheat, a scam, an insurance fraud guy who will go behind your back and rip you off. But he really does not want to have to commit murder.
Paperwork crime and stabbing somebody or murdering somebody or however you choose to do it, Coke zeroing them to death as James is about to do to himself. That's a big difference. So he's out of his pay grade by a long mile here. So anyway, he doesn't want them to see him for he goes.
Yeah,
and he
that
hides
part
over
doesn't
here.
make much sense.
I get it. I avoid people I know when I see them in public. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm at the mall looking for walking by Victoria's Secret, hoping one of them some. All right, let's. All right, so anyway, they're dancing around. Woo, 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 woo. I did enjoy this. It was a nice moment of levity.
I watched this scene twice just for the music.
Oh, really?
It was so quirky and bizarre. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. And to go into Old Man Bushnell's office.
Oh, and one thing,
go ahead.
Because it's been 2 days, I have had a chance to kind of skim across Reddit here and there. And one person made a very good point. They said that the interaction between these two characters are very reminiscent of the original season between Benjamin Horne and Jerry Horne.
Okay.
The two brothers. So just kind of going back to that, that's the same kind of quirkiness that we're seeing again.
All right.
Obviously, it's similar because it's Lynch writing both scenes.
Yes.
But,
Yes. And as we say on Meepos, it's the dance of joy.
Yeah.
That was my contribution to your insights. Thanks. All right. So, hey, look, my guy, my man, you're my hero. They love him. They can't get enough of this agency. Little crazy. I don't think. Look, $30 million is a reason to celebrate. I celebrate when I get $200. I'll celebrate when I get a burrito. But these guys, you don't do it at your insurance company. Come on, maybe send them a nice gift card to Starbucks for $50. But
it's a little bizarre, but the whole thing is
okay,
that Bushnell didn't suffer a loss from doing this because he took out that plan as a contingency in case something like this were to happen.
Oh.
So he basically took out insurance on the insurance, so he suffers no ill harm financially from this transaction.
So he doesn't have to go pawn his Heisman Trophy over here?
No, he
That's
doesn't.
a boxing thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right, so, okay, fine. So anyway, let's keep going through. So these dudes are super thrilled. They just can't get enough. They've brought gifts for him, and they all got lipstick on their faces, which, that's, I've been in a couple situations where you get that lipstick, and it's not like a sexual thing. It's like some old lady that come here, and you get that nasty Arby's kiss from her disgusting, wet, warm lips, and it leaves lipstick on you, and you're like, ugh, like, what? Like, how do you get sexy lipstick, James?
Well,
that's my question. It's when women like this give you the lipstick. That's when
actually, he was with Cersei Lannister, but she missed.
She missed.
So he survived again. Mike came out of the lodge and pushed her, and she missed.
Yes,
because he's protecting Dougie.
He's protecting Dougie. She's a poisonous queen from Game of Thrones. Everybody,
Yes.
For those of you that aren't watching, the one of you.
But you get the
look at
impression
this dice.
you got the impression that the kissing was from the three women here, including Candy.
Yes, but it's like. It's not sexual. Like, it's not like they're like, ooh, we're going to get it on. It's just like, okay, kiss, smooch, smooch. But it's also gross because I think women swallow a lot of that lipstick. I think it just goes in their mouth. And, like, where does it go? I'm wearing chapstick right now, and it's like eventually goes away. Does it evaporate, or do I like slowly absorb it into my mucous membrane?
No, it eventually peels off in your sleep and lands on the floor and becomes part of the carpet.
That explains why I found a spider that had built a dried chapstick nest.
It's why you hear crunching when you walk.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. All right. Anyway, we're getting distracted. So anyway, we got wife. I don't know what they're saying there. Oh yeah, they're like, oh hey, is your wife gonna be okay with all this lipstick? Although you don't want to get lipstick on your collar, as according to detergent commercials from the '80s and all the plot of every movie from the '80s, don't get lipstick on your collar. Get it on your underwear.
And those grass stains. My God, the grass stains.
Yes. Wow, that'd be weird to have green grass stains on your collar. Okay, so
well, the funny thing is,
a woman with a grassy mouth.
Well, the gag here is that they say, Dougie, I hope your wife doesn't mind, or something like that, and he goes, wife? Because that was the last word that was said. Yeah. They took it as a joke, as though he was speaking in context in response, which he wasn't.
Yeah, like when someone says to me, who's your roommate? And I go, James?
You would have to say roommate?
Yeah,
roommate. Because it's the last word that was said to you.
How dare you correct me? That was not funny what I said at all. I'm sorry. All right, so anyway, here we go. We got a box of Monte Cristo number 2s because he's got to fill out a Scantron. Perfect. That's good.
So it's a bunch of poop logs from a guy named Monte Cristo?
Yes. There should be a space here. It's Crisco because it's very good. Very, very oily poop.
Yeah, that was my immature joke of the day.
I like it. You've been hanging out with the wrong crowd, James. Me. A crowd of one. WON. All right, so, oh, nice. Hey, I think those are cigars, like, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
What if they're cigarillos?
What's a cigarillo?
Cigarillo is, like, a cigar that got an associate's degree but gave up after, didn't go too much further after. It's like a weird little, it's not a cigarette, it's a baby cigar with like a little mouth handle.
So it's like a cigar that doesn't eat carbs.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're classy or not. I think they're, I don't know if, I think they're all kind of gross. Although I do like walking by cigar shops because they smell nice, but I don't want to do anything more than walk by.
Yeah.
Like when I walk by a Subway, I stop and I open the door and I go, fresh bread, 5. All right, let's keep
I've
going.
only ever smoked one thing in my life, and it was a cigar. And I was asked to because it was a celebration for a person, and I didn't want to be disrespectful. I don't see the
They're gross.
Yeah, I
never
didn't like it at all.
It's like chewing on a disgusting bunch of. I understand that people that like them or whatever, but
it's an acquired taste, I'm sure. I mean, trying it once doesn't really give you the full experience.
I've never smoked one, and I never intend to.
Yeah, I don't plan on revisiting that.
Yeah, the only thing I've smoked is weed and poles.
You monster.
Poles, get it? Those are penises. I've not smoked any of those. All right, so
just kidding. I've never smoked weed.
That's fine. I don't mind. That's all good. All right, so all right. Oh, here. What's the next one? Then?
Diamond monogrammed cufflinks.
Diamond monogrammed cufflinks, classic. He'll fit right in at the mob casino.
Yep.
That is
pretty swanky.
Talking about being a tacky person.
You would think there'd be some sort of law against this too. It's like, hey, we paid out a big, insurance suit to you.
Yeah, that can't be a thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a conflict of interest. I mean, companies are so skittish about liability. They wouldn't just be like, "Oh yeah, we'll take all this payouts that."
And if they were doing this kind of thing, they certainly wouldn't parade through the front door of the office dancing in the conga line to do it.
Totally.
Subtlety.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and so she's so thrilled. Oh my god! Oh, diamond cufflinks! I would sell those things so quick. eBay, man, $50. I need at least.
You would already have them on the little lazy Susan taking pictures of them.
Yeah, QVC.
Yeah.
With my one pretty fingernail.
Your 1-800 number would be on the bottom of the screen.
Those women on QVC have really pretty hands.
Oh, they have to.
Well, of course, it's part of the job.
Can you imagine like QVC, but instead of hands, it was my feet?
It'd be like having a newscaster that wasn't a red hot fuck machine. I'm talking about the men. Looking at you, Ron Majors. All right, getting a little weird in here, James. Sorry about that. I didn't. Anyway, so the next one is a small box. Oh, gee, what could be in a small box that might be a nice gift? Did we already find out? Oh, that's the car. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, BMW convertible.
Yeah.
Whoa!
And he said a matching set, which implies that Dougie also got one.
Right. Not a fan of convertibles. I'm bald, and fuck the sun.
I would think that you would love convertibles because you're bald. You don't have hair blowing all over the place.
No. I'll take a convertible. I had a girlfriend. She had a convertible. And it was fun, like on like let's go get ice cream, and then it's like 10 minutes. But we took it like on I-90, like a Chicago highway with rush hour in summer with the convertible top down, and it was miserable. You're so exposed. I'm bald. I need a hat. I don't have fur.
You're more aerodynamic.
Well, yeah, it helps for that. We did get great gas mileage, but I just remember, and she felt bad. She's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "It's okay. I know. This is too much for me. It's too much input. We gotta break up."
Imagine like the news helicopters that are looking down and the glare is like
right. Well,
terrifying them.
3 helicopters crashed that day because of the glare off my perfectly round bald head. It is a beautiful skull though. It's like a science classroom skeleton.
Yeah.
All right. So
really
Tom Sizemore, aka Arthur something.
Anthony Sinclair.
Anthony Sinclair is still hiding, doing a good job. Dun 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 dun. It's so silly that they do it. It's so unrealistic, but it's kind of funny. So he calls Lucky.
Well, I mean, it's Lucky 7 Insurance, so that might just be the nomenclature of the phone.
All right, I was proud of myself for getting this screenshot because I gotta find out who he called. It's gonna be important. James is gonna be mad if I don't.
I'll admit I did go back to see what it said when I was watching it. I thought it was important too.
You see, well, they made a point of showing it, so it's got to be right, or anyway, he's like, oh no, I don't. He's basically saying, dude, this is all gone to hell. He's talking to the guy who just wants him to kill Dougie.
Yeah, and this is kind of weird that he would call Duncan Todd, the guy he's colluding with, from his office phone. That's a little risky, I would think.
To get that phone record of.
Yeah, I mean that seems a little bit risky, as I just repeated myself.
Well, when you're up to crime, you should probably not the fewer records you leave, the better, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how
And you would think an insurance man of all people would know not to leave records.
that seems to make sense for sure. So anyway, they're dancing off, and there he is. Look at that face. He is not happy, but he knows what the backup plan is, and that is to continue the mission. Kill him, bitch. He tells him, right? Do we have a complete? So he's very hesitant, though. He accepts his fate, realizes he's got to do what he's got to do. Hey, look, slip and fall floor, huh? Must be some kind of insurance.
Some people on Reddit were speculating something else as well. Do you remember when the Mitchum brothers were initially against Dougie and they said they wanted to kill him, and he said, "Can't you just wait 3 more hours?" And that kind of launched me into my whole stupid thing about saying, oh, that means in 3 more hours, aka 3 more episodes, they're going to kill Dougie, aka bring back Agent Cooper.
Yes.
That was 3, and now he's referencing again, if you go back one screenshot, he says, but you said 2 before, and then he counters with...
That one?
No.
Wait, what do you want me to go forward?
I guess you missed it.
Tell me which
but he said
direction.
1 day.
Oh, okay.
He said you have 1 day. He said, I thought you said 2 before, 1 day. So we get the 3, 2, 1. It's almost as though it's counting down to the return of Agent Cooper.
Yes.
I'm going to write that one off as bullcrap, but I like that it has numbers in it, so I'm going to go with it.
When you see numbers, you have to pause and think about it for a second in the show, for sure.
Like he was doing. And I've never seen that particular character, Duncan Todd, look as angry and aggravated as he has before. Because he's the middleman who kind of goes between his main client, who we presume is Philip Jeffries, and his other clients.
But it's not like this guy's been some fountain of joy in previous episodes. He's just always sitting in his office being kind of ominous and sort of like planning things and pulling out stuff out of his lock, his safe and stuff, right?
But it's almost as though if this man is worried about something, that really speaks to the malice of Philip Jeffries.
That's a fair point. I appreciate the logic behind that comment. All right, let's keep going. Distant birds chirping. And these guys it looks like they're bringing out some kids stuff, right? And wow, what a thrill! They're at Dougie's house because of the red door. Janie E, I remembered her name, comes out. I was wondering how she might react to this, because she's kind of the master of her domain. You know, maybe she doesn't want to be, extra stuff coming. Some people would be uncomfortable with having a bunch of free shit arrive.
Oh, and I do have to mention something here. I cannot confirm this because I don't know for a fact, but again, I will not take credit for this. This is something I read on Reddit, so if you in the comments you can tell me this is true or not, I would appreciate it.
All right.
I think according to Reddit, in a past episode, the Mitchum brothers were talking to Dougie, and he said something like, something about Sonny, what would Sonny Jim want?
To change his name to Sonny Jim?
Well, that's it. The last word they said was Jim, J-I-M. Dougie responded with the last word he heard, Jim, and they interpreted it as though he wanted a Jim set.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's something that actually happened or something people are assuming happened, but it's either way, I think it's a pretty interesting theory.
Well, in the previous episode, the only scene between Sonny, Jim, and Dougie, or Cooper, or whatever, was in the backyard playing.
Well, you wouldn't need Sonny Jim in that shot.
No, hold on.
Actually, in the past episode,
in the previous episode, where he threw the ball and hit him in the shoulder.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, that was seemingly a pointless. Like, why the hell did they include that? Just other than just so Dougie's still a catatonic invalid.
And
but so that established the empty backyard.
Yes.
That established playtime for the kid. So I don't know. Maybe that was probably.
And the Mitchum brothers wouldn't have any need to know who Sonny Jim was. So I'm going to say that this comment on Reddit was a speculation that someone devised to kind of figure out why the Mitchum brothers would be bringing a Jim set.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me. I like it. I didn't come up with it. Reddit did, and I applaud the people on Reddit.
So find Reddit and tell them thanks.
Yes.
But and hey, get something for the mom and dad and get something for the kid. Get them a Nintendo or a gym set or a fidget spinner. I don't know why are people upset about fidget spinners. It's just a fucking toy.
People are upset about those?
On Twitter, people seem to go, they crap on them all the time. Like they're,
Why?
I use 2 of them every time. I can't shit without it. All right, let's keep going. Curse, I didn't expect you to laugh at that at all.
I'm just picturing you meditating in a toilet with 2 fidget spinners.
Slowly, like, trying not to groan too loudly. All right, okay, so there's the car. Now, it's a hardtop BMW. I would be okay with that a little bit, but it's still, I'm not a convertible fan. But beautiful car, looking nice. But the ribbon on it. I hope she takes that off before she drives it down the street.
I hope she puts it in her hair.
And it's too heavy and she like falls over. Or she puts it on her hair and bangs her husband, and then he calls her a BMW. It's a good looking, that's a pretty nice gift. What do you think that car goes for? 60? 80?
I would probably say between like 1680
50,
about that.
50 plus feels like
Yeah.
a safe guess. So
And
anyway,
because it's a BMW, you're allowed to run red lights.
Yeah.
I've learned that living out here.
they've done research about that,
Yeah.
actually. People in more expensive cars are less likely to stop for people at crosswalks. So being rich turns you into an asshole, and I can't fucking wait. I want to be rich so I can stop caring about humans.
I can't wait till laws don't apply to me anymore.
Yes, I know. It'll be nice if we have a world left after the nuclear holocaust that's imminent. Anyway, Mitchum Brothers. All right, so put it in the backyard. All right, great. What if they put the BMW in the backyard and
They put the gym set in the driveway.
in the driveway?
And then Dougie goes to start the gym set and it explodes.
Yeah. All right, but
Jamie,
here's where we find out how she feels, though.
She was not expecting this. She sees this as an accomplishment of her husband, and she's filled with pride and happiness.
Yeah, this is as we say on Twitter, a play in 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look how happy she is. This is a good deal for her. Because she, like I said, I kind of thought she'd be like, oh damn it, now we got more crap. Maybe not like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I could see being uncomfortable by being given $80,000 and stuff.
Yeah.
I would take it.
Not only being given this great gift, but being given it in good graces, knowing that your husband's life is no longer in danger potentially.
Well, that's true.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah. So anyway, there we go to the backyard. They even bothered hooking up a bunch of lights. This is a odd.
This was really bizarre to me, but there's something I need to point out about this. Right. And this is something that struck me as I was watching this episode.
Is it this huge wet ball?
Yes, it is the giant wet ball.
Good.
No, but it's Sonny Jim is... barring the fact
spotlight that was falling.
Yeah, barring the fact that there's a spotlight and there's a weird light and arch and all that stuff.
Somewhere down there's a McDonald's.
And Swan Lake is playing.
Yeah.
It is utterly bizarre, but just bear in mind that Sonny Jim is moving through a constant loop. He's doing the same thing as he goes through this mechanism over and over and over. Yeah.
Okay. He did come back through this thing.
I mean, you kind of don't have a choice when you're going through that because it's designed to be a loop.
I don't recall them showing enough of it to show the loop. He did go back this way.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw him hit the trampoline a couple of times.
Yeah, it could be it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
So that theme will repeat itself.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right.
And whether or not there's anything deeper or more insightful to this scene, I'm not quite sure. This just seemed to be like an exercise in bizarreness.
It was pretty weird. It was weird in its simplicity. It's not, you know what I mean? It's like they didn't introduce new things. Like it's not like another guy came over and stood there and did nothing, or like a fucking clown jumped over the wall. It was just a kid running around on a thing.
It's like the gyms that I get, but the spotlight and the arch, I mean, that seems like extravagant for the sake of being extravagant. It's pointless. But it adds a flavor to it that is very Lynchian.
For sure.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is a very Lynchian moment. And so there's mom and dad. The reason that the spotlight's coming from because they both have their pants down and they're very excited.
No, that's your head in the distance.
Oh, yeah.
You're pointing at the back of your arm.
It is. That's what I do. I'm Dr. Manhattan, but just a bald, pale white guy with a bright, glowy head because I never show my head to the sun. Actually, I've been getting a little bit of tan this year, James.
Nice.
Not in my nips, just on my arms, below my elbows. All right, so she's super happy. Oh, Dougie, this is going to be a good night. I think they're going to have a little womp womp again.
Probably.
They're going to go do some of that special hugging that mommy and daddies do, and Hank and his dates do. I haven't been on a date in a while, James. I'm dying of loneliness.
I thought you meant your jar of dates.
My jar of dates, yes. You microwave it for 20 seconds, fill it to the brim, wink. All right, Western Montana, and man, what a beautiful country. That's what they call Big Sky Country. Speaking of skies, we're indoors now. There's like a military truck and an empty warehouse type of thing. Vehicle comes in. We haven't seen this fella in a while. It's Bobbleganger. Evil Dr. Coop.
Or Booper.
Booper.
I really wouldn't say Booper anymore, though, because that's like Bob and Cooper combined.
Oh, Bob and Cooper.
But we know Bob's not with him anymore, so it's not really a Booper. It's
the Doppelganger. Doppelcooper. Right. So anyway. Doppeldale. That's right. Doubledale. I think that's what I used to call him. So... All right, so he gets out of his car. We've got a couple of dudes.
Is this an enormous security camera monitor, or is this a glass window?
It's like a screen. It's like, so this looks like it would roll into here, but it's also got lights and buttons.
It seems so large and unnecessary, but...
Well, everything about what's about to happen was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just... I don't know.
So to recap, though,
they're in this warehouse. It's weirdly clean. Yeah. There's not a lot of furniture. There's a bunch of Okay, but
so can you recap for everyone the last time that Ray, who we see here in the burgundy shirt, the last time Ray encountered or dealt with Doppelganger?
He shot him, and then he puked up some creamed corn.
Why did Yeah, why did he shoot him?
Somebody ordered him to.
Philip Jeffries ordered him to do it over the phone. He's only spoken with Philip Jeffries over the phone.
Right.
And what happened when he shot Mr. C?
He crashed his car and then got arrested? No, he crashed his... No, see, I don't know. Oh, it was after he broke out of the jail.
Yes, the whole barfing up the Garmin Bozia was before he went to jail.
Oh, yeah, so
after that.
Here's the don't ask me these questions. I'm not going to get the answers right. I like the questions.
Well, I thought you... Okay.
I wish I knew the answers.
I'll give you a hint.
I do remember...
I'll give you a hint. Woodsman. The weird ceremony where the woodsman came and they extracted Bob's head and the giant orb out of him.
I remember
and they
that.
started resurrecting him from the dead.
Yes,
so to speak.
Okay. Thank you. That now it's coming back.
And Ray witnessed it, and Ray actually saw the woodsman, and he was horrified by it, and he escaped.
Okay. Yeah.
So he knows that Mr. C is not a human. He knows that he is a malevolent force of darkness and evil. He's aware of this.
Well, I mean, yes. I don't think he has a full comprehension of his
nobody has a
power.
full comprehension of what Mr. C is, but he knows this guy is more than meets the eye.
It's
He's
like
a transformer.
If you met a real vampire, you'd be like, "Oh my god, real vampire!" But I'm scared. But I know there's some fucked up shit that he's capable of.
Basically, I don't want to be alone in a room with him.
Definitely not, especially not anybody who wears a black leather jacket. Keep away. They're too cool for school.
And especially when he shows up a couple days after you thought you killed him.
Right. And then, of course, we need to talk about this guy here, who is the younger brother of of Gronk, or whatever that fucking guy who loves the Baby Ruths from Goonies. What's his name? Clunky? Gronk?
Clunky?
What's his name?
Okay, Chunk is the kid. Chunk is the kid.
Chunk, the fat kid who has the funny scenes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've had too much moonshine. I can't remember.
It's fine.
But
don't worry about it. It's not like we're doing a channel about that.
At the very end of the episode, I'll scream it out.
Yeah, it'll come back
by then.
Okay, so they're watching him come in. He's here to see you. Okay, I'll let you have him. And so they're basically like, well, we'll see what he wants. He's locked in now, by the way.
So essentially, the big muscle head with no hair in the shirt.
He's the gang leader.
He's the leader. Ray is working under him. Ray is not the boss. Yep. Ray is informing his boss that this is the guy I told you that I killed. He's coming in, but don't worry. I gave him the gate code, but he's trapped in there.
But the rest, yes. So he comes up the elevator. The rest of the crew shows up, and look at these guys.
They're pretty confident that they don't have a problem on their hands.
This guy's looking for his conditioner. He's going, oh, I hate humidity. Oh, it makes me frizzy. But look at these guys. There's just such central casting, shitty, gangster, fake, not gangsters. I don't know.
The guy on the far right's a Bob wannabe.
This entire thing, this guy here.
Yeah.
This entire thing just I don't know. It just didn't work for me at all.
I mean, to me, Ray looks
I know
like
gang. And of course, there's this guy here who I thought was. We did get a little bit of explanation for who he is a little later on, but I did enjoy that there was sort of like a really square-looking nerd dude standing amongst all these tough guys.
Ray kind of looks like a guy whose face was molded poorly out of clay.
He looks like a guy who sells solar panels.
He looks like a guy whose face was run through a Photoshop filter for the pinch filter on.
This guy here.
Yeah. No, Ray.
Oh, Ray. Oh, no, I meant this guy, but
No.
Okay, the pinch.
You know how the pinch kind of extrudes everything inwards?
Yeah,
to a
pushes
point?
everything towards your nose.
Yeah.
Sure, I get it. Yeah. But anyway, so they got guns, they got standing, they got bracelets, they got vests.
Yes.
They're wearing what's gonna set this guy apart? Give him a beanie or whatever they call those hats. So anyway, he's like, dude, put the gun down. We're not going to kill him right away. And of course, there's this old dude who's part of like the gang. He's kind of like the reek of the crew, standing there looking weird. And there's other tough guys in the back. Again, nothing going on in here. I mean, I don't know. Everything was just odd about this scene. I shouldn't keep repeating myself. So I want to see Ray. He's got business to settle. You fuck. So here's how it works. So we got this guy's our boss, the big bald dude, and because no one can beat him at arm wrestling. That's how they select the leader?
Yeah, it was like a rehashing of the scene from Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. It was a really bizarre way. It's almost like one of those scenes where you destroy, you best our leader in combat, and you become our leader.
Yeah.
It was a take on that, but just bizarre.
I do think we need more Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone references around here, though. I appreciate you bringing that one, that old chestnut back. But yeah, so like every new guy gets to challenge him, and they've all lost, and then you just fall in. But if you don't beat them, they kill you.
Yeah. Okay. I have to confess, I was annoyed, so I picked up my broken phone.
All right.
It's Sloth.
Fuck.
That was gonna bother me until
Gronk was pretty close.
Yeah. Gronk was
he could have been Gronk.
No, Gronk was like the trash can droid from Star Wars.
Was that the name?
Gronk.
Well, that could be named Sloth too. Ever seen one of those droids move? They suck. And all right, so you can do what Renzo says. So I don't know, just whatever. I'm crapping out too much. I don't want because there's still a lot going on in this whole sequence.
So how did you think the sequence was going to play out?
I assumed that Double Dale was going to pull some super fast, like when Cooper took down Ike the Spike. I assumed he was going to do something with a gun real quick and maybe kill Ray or hurt somebody really badly and take but all with a lot of self-control because he's sort of like a confident, cool demeanor guy.
At first, I thought that he was going to arm wrestle him, but like snap his arm quick that the bone would shoot out.
Honestly, I thought that too. Once I knew they were going to arm wrestle, I was like, oh, then he's going to break his arm.
That this would be a very quick scene. But then I thought, wait a minute, he doesn't have Bob inside him anymore. So does that mean that he's in a weakened state? Is he going to be able to withstand this guy? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It did get a little more intense here when they're walking behind him, and he comes up and he clobbers him in the back of the head, and that's not nice. Just nails him one real hard there, and dude, come on, dude, that's rude. What if he punched him on that little jewelry he's got going on?
That's his crit spot.
Yeah, he blows up. That's not a welcoming gesture. You always wait till your guests are leaving to punch them in the back of the head.
This guy has the head of a very large baby.
Well, everybody does, James. I got news for you. Bald people, we remind others, normies, of their own mortality.
No, but
good news for you, fuckface. You're gonna die. You're gonna get old. You're gonna rot. You're gonna turn into some disgusting pile of melted human skin, and then you'll die, just like me.
I guarantee you, though, if you Photoshop his face onto a bottle of Gerber's baby food, no one would notice a difference.
I agree. Or if he just smeared some pureed bananas on his lips.
So he punched him and said that was from the nursery school teacher, because before that, Bobble Cooper, Evil Dale, Double Coop, Dale, whatever you want to call him, Mr. C, kind of insulted him, saying that this place is being run like a kindergarten.
Oh, okay, all right. So it did seem like a kindergarten, by the way. Mm-hmm. That was well said. And so, all right, so they're all gathering around the table. They've got the arm wrestling table set up as if they knew he was coming.
They've done this many times before.
But why would they have a whole room with just arm wrestling going on in the middle of the room?
Well, they said for 14 years, no one has beaten this guy who's...
Yeah. I get that part. Fine, but...
Renzo, I think is his name.
Like, it's just weird that they had the table and chairs already there.
How is that weird? This is their thing.
It's not like you need an arm wrestling room.
Well, they do. That's their thing. That's their procedure.
It's nonsense. No, you don't. You put up the table when you do the arm wrestling. It's like
he has appointments throughout the whole day. His Outlook calendar is filled with arm wrestling appointments.
90 minutes out of 40 years of arm wrestling, maybe at most. 40 minutes. Arm wrestling doesn't last long. 14.
He teaches a youth squad of arm wrestlers.
Yeah. This is his dojo.
Yes.
He's his arm wrestling coach. He's got like little kids with like one giant fiddler crab arm. All right, so he sits down. It does look like it's padded though. That's kind of cool. You can see like the folded creases there and stuff. I was like, what is this green? It's a guy's holding a beer there. All right, so they all gather around the gang. They're looking fake and bullshitty. It's so weird. Everything about it. But anyway, he looks like a large guy. He looks like he'd be tough to beat in arm wrestling.
Yeah, and Ray doesn't look worried to me because he thinks he's going to win. And did we gloss over the fact that when Evil Cooper said, what does he get out of this deal if he wins?
I think we might have missed.
Okay, so the deal was whoever beats him becomes our boss. And Evil Cooper said, you know what? I don't want to be your boss. That's not what I want. If I win, I get him. And he motions to Ray. Yeah. He's only come for Ray, and he wants Ray because Ray has the coordinates, and Ray tried to kill him. So it's basically getting the coordinates and getting revenge at the same time.
Correct. And he's only there, he doesn't want anything extra either.
Yeah, so there's a lot at stake in this arm wrestling match for Ray.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be the new boss of the gang.
No, he did not come for that.
It's a gang. It's just so... Okay, all right, I'll stop. All right, so anyway, they get going. I did like that they laid down the rules. It's good. No touching the table with your other hand. I like that. So anyway, there he goes. And no change at all in Evil Double Bob. He is totally nonplussed by all that's going on, but he doesn't let him win. He just kind of goes down. And now we realize, old boss guy, what's his name here? Renzo is probably in over his head.
So basically what happens is it appears as though Renzo is winning. He gets him against the ropes, but he can't finish it.
Yeah.
And then Mr. C brings it right back up to the start and says, starting positions. As if to say, I let you do that. I can control this match whenever I want, however I want. I'll bring us back to where we started when I want.
Right. Exactly. And so he goes for it again. And there's a few rounds of this. Like, all right, here I'm going to go.
So he's not simply beating the guy, he is toying with him.
Yeah, he's like a cat arm wrestling a mouse.
Yeah, starting position is more comfortable.
Correct. Right. And everybody's cheering, and they're starting to realize, oh no, the boss might not win it. Uh-oh, it hurt my... And he explained it. My arm hurt when I was down there.
And he lets him go back down there.
Yeah, but it really hurt over here, and I'm going to show you what it feels like. And so he like takes him all the way over there, and he's like, oh my God, no. And he's going, oh man, this isn't working out for me at all. I shouldn't have been the boss. I should have stayed at accounting school. So it's back to starting positions. Then Ray realizes it's not going to go well for him.
Yeah,
so
he wants to get away because he knows this is going to go poorly for him, like you said. But the guys were kind of holding him back. They won't let him interfere because they respect the rules of this dojo in a sense so much.
I don't think he wanted to interfere. I think he wanted to leave.
Well, interfere with the outcome of the match. Okay. He's the prize, so if he leaves, he's interfering.
All right, fair enough. All right, fine. What nice legalese there, Judge Judy. But what are they, honorable all of a sudden?
Well, they are.
Force their own guy to get...
This is their rules. These are their rules.
That's
they
true.
care.
That is how they became the biggest gang in crime.
Now, this I didn't pick up on when it says bone crunching. So he breaks the guy's arm, apparently.
You think so?
Well, it says bone crunches.
I mean, you can get kind of like a...
I mean, my bones don't crunch unless they break.
Well, you can...
It's cartilage that you could hear, but not a bone.
All right.
Big difference.
All right. Don't hit me, James. Ow, ow. Okay. So, oh, no. Yeah, I probably... Oh, yeah, well, then it crunched. I missed the punch. So he's immediately... He nails him in one fell swoop, stands up and punches him.
So as soon as the palm of... I mean, the top part of his hand hits the table, he sucker punches him in the face and caves in his entire face.
Look at that, James. Gross.
Yeah, that's something special right there.
Makes me hungry for peanut butter and jelly. So he murders the guy. He just takes him down, smushes his face.
So this guy's got an incredible amount of power behind his punch.
Yeah, I'll say. So they're like, oh man, that's not the outcome we expected when we came to work today. And they all kind of wander off. Or do they clear the room? I don't know. Anyway, so they leave the room. There goes the accounting. Oops, I gave it away. There goes the nerd, Poindexter.
You can probably tell he's an accountant.
That's a safe bet, but yeah. So anyway, and he stands up and he's like, all right, time for trouble with you, Ray. Ray tries to leave. He shoots him in the leg. Not going to let it happen. And then now he's his captive because he's got a fucked up leg. And then this guy's asked him if he wants any money.
Now, I've got to ask you something.
What?
I don't know if you know this character, but are you familiar with the Tremons?
I've heard that before, but no.
It's the grandmother and a little child. They're lodge entities.
Okay.
And I swear the child used to stand exactly like this man is standing. I haven't heard anyone else make this comparison on Reddit or something. It's just a weird thing that stuck in my head, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Well, it's not particularly...
I'm not saying that he is that character, but I'm saying that he reminds me of that.
With the arms kind of straight?
Yeah, sort of this weird posture to him.
It's a little bit weird, yeah. All right. I don't know.
That he, of all people, the Poindexter-looking guy, is not afraid of the man that he just saw defeat his boss in arm wrestling and then cave his skull in with a single punch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, he's
the brave one.
Sure, but he essentially just gets on with business and saying, "Do you need any money?" Basically saying, "You are the head of the organization now.
I'm your money guy.
This is like when the presidency changes. I'm not going to get into politics, but like when one guy loses and the next one comes in, the Secret Service sort of comes over to the other one and goes, "Do you need any money now? Would you like us to stand here?"
The Secret Service comes over and goes, "Would you like us to pay you $1 million to watch over your wife in New York per month?" And they're like, "Why, yeah, sure."
Is that an indecent proposal joke?
No, that's actually what happened.
In this?
Melania Trump in New York.
Yeah. Oh, well, sure. No, you're right. Yeah, $1 million. It was way more than $1 million.
They didn't offer Trump $1 million to bang his wife
for one night with your wife.
Yeah. Although I'm sure she would have been up for it.
Well, I mean, come on.
Politics aside.
Yeah, politics aside. It would have been. Her rate has gone up substantially. That woman is trapped, man. She's a prisoner.
I feel horrible.
I don't feel horrible for her. I just think it's.
I don't like her, but
it's an interesting POV. It's to take the politics out of it. I don't want to.
Yeah, Michelle Obama's whole thing was keeping kids healthy.
Yeah.
Her whole thing that she chose above all things was ending cyberbullying,
which she has done literally zero.
She married the emperor of cyberbullying.
Literally zero.
Like, come on.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. But anyway, all right.
It makes me laugh and cry inside at the same time.
Yeah, but I just can't see like, man, how bad is Slovenia? Jesus Christ. Okay, so there he goes. All right, now I don't need any money. Somebody hired you to kill me. I know it. it came through a man named Philip. So he finally gets him to tell him who ordered him
But
to kill.
he does say, I don't know whether it is Philip Jeffries. That's simply the name that he gave, and I only spoke to him on the telephone.
Yeah. Yeah. So Warden Murphy, is this new information that we find out?
Warden Murphy was the one at the jail that orchestrated the release, and who the Hutches.
I know, but I'm saying
Chantel.
But Warden Murphy, I got the sense that Warden Murphy was involved before the release, even like just getting him into the jail. Or am I wrong?
That's very possible,
Oh.
because we know that Mr. C was the one who ordered the Chantel and Hutch to kill Warden Murphy.
Yeah.
So when he references the prison thing in Warden Murphy, it's probably getting them both in the same prison or something along those lines. And
Got it.
if I'm misleading in any way in the comments, please set me straight.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, they will.
Yes.
We've got the most straighting
The
commenters.
moonshine is not
Are you
fully.
out?
I'm a little bit out.
Is it literally moonshine?
It's literally peppermint bird dog moonshine.
Why do they gotta call it bird something?
Bird dog is the name of the company that
Oh, okay. I was like, because I had moonshine at a tailgate thing at a university once, and it was like a weird berry.
This is
like
the
soaked inside this jar.
makes it. Yeah, this is the same brand that I had my first blackout moment from.
All right.
I woke up and went to get ready in the morning, and I locked my own bathroom door from the outside. I was
Great.
like,
Could be a long
wow.
night.
Yeah.
Can't wait to drop you off at the emergency room later on in my new Prius. It's used, by the way, gray. All right, so he said that you got something that they want. Did he ever mention Major Briggs? So he wants to know what his connection to him.
Okay, Major Garland Briggs is probably one of the most important characters in this entire season 3. He was in seasons 1 and 2, but he's not in season 3 because the character that portrays him tragically passed away. He was the head that we saw floating through space that said Blue Rose.
Yep.
He's the father of Bobby Briggs. He's the one who left that little message in the steel tube for Bobby Briggs and the Bookhouse Boys, Sheriff Truman and so forth.
Yep.
He is critical in the secret history of Twin Peaks, so he is a major, major, major player in the whole mystique of the show.
Sure. Played by the beloved Don S. Davis.
Yes, and he was the last, actually Agent Cooper was the last person that was seen visiting Major Briggs before his untimely death in a fire.
Right.
But we assume that he didn't really die in that fire, that he was hiding out in the house that was inside the Tremon's paintings, which was then infiltrated by the woodsmen, in which Briggs was killed, and his head was sent off into space while his body was put into the bed of Ruth Davenport.
That's how we all want to go.
It's how my father went. After my father's alive.
Yeah. He's fine. That's how he's going to die when you.
That's how I've planned his death.
Yeah, sure. You got to plan ahead. So anyway, he reaches in his pocket and he's like, no, and he goes, I don't have a gun. You know I don't have a gun. So he pulls out a ring, the owl ring.
Okay, so major moment.
This is there's a lot involved with this whole.
The owl ring is probably one of the most mysterious parts of the original series. We know the owl ring was worn by multiple people. It was worn by people who were killed by Bob, including Laura Palmer. It was worn by Mike on his pinky finger, I believe, which was kind of a departure from the other fingers that people wore it on. And it allegedly prevents you from being possessed.
Okay.
Laura Palmer was given the ring by Mike before her death to prevent Bob from possessing her body because Bob wanted to be her.
Okay.
So he threw it into the the railway car that she put on before her death. So Bob didn't get what he wanted. He killed her out of rage because he couldn't possess her.
Okay.
On the same token, though, Agent Cooper from within the lodge was warning Laura not to take the ring for a reason that we don't quite know yet.
Yeah.
But from this scene, it would appear that if you wear the ring and you die while wearing the ring, your soul, in a sense, if you want to use that term, becomes trapped or transported into the lodge, which makes sense that Dougie Jones was wearing the owl ring, or he was programmed or set up to wear the ring, because when he died, or he was pulled back into the lodge, he had the ring on. It's almost as though leaving your corporeal form in this reality while wearing the ring transports you back to the lodge.
All right. Yeah.
I don't quite fully understand it, but it seems like that's where they're going with it.
Okay. Yeah, it seems so. Because Cooper tells him to put it on, right?
Yeah, he says that before he dies, put the ring on him, because I believe that was Philip Jeffries' plan on getting Cooper back into the lodge.
Okay. All right. So he puts the ring on. I always want to back up, though, real quick. I noticed this symbol on this guy's vest. Do you think that's the gang symbol?
It could be.
You know, somewhere it says MC. I think that's It's something, a master charter, I believe that
It's
stands
basically
for.
a skull and an upside-down Handmaid's Tale bonnet.
Correct. That's what it is. Yeah. They don't want to. Yeah. But the skull is bald, of course. But to be just like the leader, the dead guy.
Yeah.
But these are scimitars, I'm guessing. Yeah, those are scimitars, and you know that.
Well, like the ancient,
these are swords.
not Arabian, ancient Arabic style weapon.
Yeah, curved, big, huge blade thing. But I'm sure David Lynch has a drawing of this on some napkin somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say. All right, so you know what I want, Ray. He wants the coordinates. Give me them. Give me the coordinates. And so, all right, you take over.
So the coordinates originally came from the secretary of Bill Hastings, who was the principal of the high school. For some reason, and I don't quite know exactly why, Ray communicated that only she would give them to him.
Okay.
So Evil Cooper had no choice but to trust Ray in getting these coordinates from her. Now he's saying, yes, I have the coordinates. Yes, you've tracked me down. Yes, you've gotten the better of me. And I have the coordinates in my pocket. But how are you going to know that the coordinates that I give you are accurate?
Yeah.
You don't know. This is his ploy, basically saying, you still need me alive because even though I might have the numbers on me and you're obviously going to get them from me, you don't know if they can be trusted.
Right. Correct. You know, like the nerd dude is standing on the side holding like a game controller, wanting to play Xbox on this big screen here.
He's just waiting for them to be done.
Come on.
He's already got the Halo disc in.
Yeah. All right, so then this guy shows up. Horn.
This guy,
Horn.
Richard Horn.
Richard Horn, I knew that. I was
the man
testing
on the run from the law who the sheriff's department in Twin Peaks is after for the murder of the kid, the attempted murder of Miriam, and for a number of other stuff involving illicit drug trading with Red, which the sheriff department is not yet aware of, but I'm sure that will come out eventually.
Is he in the gang? Is that what we're...
I mean, I don't think they would
inferring?
just let him be there if he wasn't, so I assume he is.
Well, you know, some of those gangs have like a friend, like a guy they work with. Oh, okay, you can hide here for a while, but you're not a... I've seen Sons of Anarchy, so I'm kind of an expert on
But
this.
to me, there was a great significance in this scene.
Right.
This moment, actually. And
Because he's overdressed?
no, not quite.
I bet he's warm. That looks like some warm clothing.
I mean, based on the sleeveless attire of the other guys, but there is a jean jacket behind him,
That's
which
true.
is
And-
reminiscent of Bob.
and a
Bob
beanie.
revolutionized the jean jacket.
True. All right, go ahead with your thought.
He is looking for the first time at Mr. C.
Okay.
And it is very highly theorized and speculated that Mr. C is the father of Richard Horn, who apparently raped Audrey in her coma
Oh, God.
and gave birth to this horrific creature that is now Richard Horn.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking terrible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. I have no idea how to process that information.
You've said so much worse.
No, I'm not saying it's worse for me to hear it. It's just hard to process because raping a woman in a coma and then impregnating her and then she has to give birth somehow. That's just.
It's not pleasant.
Yeah, that's a slogan.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So anyway, they're talking about something.
Oh,
Right.
you missed the screenshot where he described what the name of the place was.
Oh.
He said,
right.
where's Philip Jeffries? He goes, I don't know, but I've heard of this place, but it's not a real place. To him, it wasn't a real place, but apparently Evil Cooper knew immediately what that place was.
Okay.
And at that point, Ray became useless to him. He says, I've got everything I need from you. You die now.
You died. Turn your
And
brain
because-
into a puddle.
Yes, and because of my moonshining, I do not recall the name of that place, and you didn't get the caption of it.
The Black Lodge, the White Lodge. I don't know. Is
no.
All right. Well, I tried. I did my best.
It's a Motel 8.
Okay.
No,
All
but
right.
hopefully someone in the comments can set us straight, because as soon as we've got this thing published, I'm going to be sitting at work like, oh God, how did I not remember that? And I'm going to be commenting my usual comment where I say, here are the list of things I'm mad about
Fucking
not knowing.
Fruit flies.
You keep fruit in your room?
No, but I eat a lot of salsa. All right. I know what it is. Yeah, no, but as far as the beating yourself up if you miss a comment, this show is filled with so many details. I think I speak for our entire listener base that I applaud your ability to recall as much detail as you are able to recall and explain it with such clarity. So thank you, James. You are going in my gratitude journal.
Must be perfect.
I know. It's forgive yourself, okay, buddy? All right, so then the ring disappears off his finger, right?
Yes.
But that's his soul returning to...
Well, no, the ring, when the ring has served its purpose, it typically returns to the lodge.
Okay.
And it seems as though Mike is the keeper of the ring.
But-
We've seen in many previous episodes where he returns the ring to a very special pedestal.
Okay.
And we also know where the ring came from, don't we? Go for it.
Turned into one of those balls the guy died and he turned into a ball and he was on the chair?
Well, the real Dougie did that because from the whole alchemy perspective. But do you recall in the deleted scenes and the missing pieces from Fire Walk with Me?
Yes, I watch that every morning.
In the episode, in the section above the convenience store, where the man from another place is sitting across a table with Bob, and he says, "This is my Formica table," or something along the lines of that. Its color is green. Oh. You see a little indentation taken out of the green Formica table, which is just about ring-sized.
Okay.
So it seems as though the ring was carved from that Formica table. What that means, though, I have no idea.
From the holy Formica table, as was written in the sacred scrolls of Lynch.
Yes.
All right, fine. Okay, cool. So the ring lands on the floor here, which we all love that floor. It's not no, but so here's my thing though. Does the ring? Okay, and then all right. So then these guys are all watching. I just want to show it. And he looks up at the camera as he walks by
because he knows who's behind the camera.
Right.
It's as though he's acknowledging that
correct.
Nothing is being hidden from him. He did the same thing when he was in the jail cell in the interrogation room. Actually, I should correct myself.
Yeah.
Looking straight through the one-way glass.
Right.
He always knows.
Okay.
It's one of his powers.
Definitely. That's what makes him such an intimidating fella. It's not just the black leather jacket. So then he shows up on the floor thing without the ring on. But what I'm asking is, had he not been wearing the ring, he wouldn't have turned up here.
Absolutely not.
Okay. But the ring clinking on the floor, now I missed it being picked up, right? Didn't it get picked up by...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I do have it being picked up.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get to that in a couple of screenshots. But so he dies with the ring on. The ring shows up first, it seemed like, and then. But so is the ring a transporter thing too? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like its arrival meant that within a couple of seconds, it's like when you get a fax, you get like a cover sheet, and then you get like the main information.
You're old.
This is how I send. Yeah. Emails.
I still send faxes today.
Yeah, I send faxes to that's how I order illegal contraband from China.
No, we actually got an email at work last week saying, "Hey, does anybody still use faxes? We should cancel these things."
Yeah.
But I still use them, so we can't cancel
Well, people, they are being phased out because, as everybody knows, God hates fax.
Oh.
All right. So what is that?
That is probably the best joke I've heard in months.
I want to do this with drunk James more often. You're not drunk.
I kind of am.
Okay. All right.
That was incredible.
My favorite part about that compliment is that it came with no laughter.
No, I'm erupting on the inside.
Okay, good.
I would be basically raising my drink to you at the stand-up thing had you been on stage saying that.
Is he wearing a t-shirt or not? Because his skin should be showing. Does he have a black void for a body? What's going on? It's probably a t-shirt.
Is that a Seinfeld thing?
What's up with the owl ring? Kramer! That's not good. That's horrible. Those are all terrible.
It sounds good to me right now.
Yeah, well, that's all right. So this is like a table thing right there.
Well, this is where the ring is naturally in the waiting area of the lodge. We always see Mike put it there.
Yeah.
So we know Mike is the one doing that. But the question that I have for you is that why does Mike always use that hand to place the ring on the table?
Because his other hand is busy not existing.
Yes!
He's armless.
Well, he has an arm.
Well, he has one arm.
Yes.
Wait, are you armless if you have... Can you be You're still armless. Arm is singular.
Well, you still have one arm, so you're not armless.
But you're less one arm.
Yes.
I'm armless.
You do not have a pair of arms, but you have one arm.
Like if I was pantsless, that's when you take
have one
off...
pant.
It's when you take off one leg out and you leave the other leg on.
Arm is singular, arms is plural, so you have arm.
So he should be... So if he loses his other arm, he's armsless.
Moving on.
All right. Right to bear arms, everybody.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? No, I agree. I think you're right on that one. So the Las Vegas police. Look at that. That's real fancy. These are the Fusco brothers.
Yes, I had forgotten their name, so I'm glad you said that.
I remember because I read a Wikipedia episode summary, which is like one sentence details about each scene. So all I remember is their name. And he's talking to somebody. He's like working on directions or something. And he's okay.
He's talking to his mother, who's coming in.
That's what I was getting to. Thanks for ruining the surprise.
You're welcome.
Then he reveals it's Mom. You ruined it, James. You fucking ruined it.
I did.
And Mom wants to come. So they're working on their dinner plans. And then he laughs. Fat chance that's gonna happen.
He's got kind of an infectious laugh.
He does have a fun laugh. It's funny. Like some people have annoying weird laughs, and some people have weird laughs that are like just delightful. It's really weird how that works.
Like the woman in the diner whose name escapes me in the R&R diner. She
sounds
great.
like a bird trying to mate, like a weird pond bird.
It's almost though it sounds forced and fake, but I still like it.
Oh, it's great. Like it's what I mean. Like some laughs are very obnoxious, but his is obnoxious, but it's funny. It works. It's okay. Makes you want to laugh, I guess. Whereas the others you go like.
And I should
up.
Notice you can clearly see Fusco written on the nameplate.
Yes. Hey, what's all the Fusco about? What fuss about? Fuck that. That was terrible. That's okay. I'm gonna kill myself with something I buy.
Is that a horse's head in 3 dimensions coming through the wall?
I did notice that earlier. Yeah, I saw that.
Is that the pale horse?
It is.
That's creepy.
Yep, it's the pale bronze horse or copper, depending on what.
Cooper.
Okay. Cocksuckers! I'll shit in your mouth.
Now, is this a woman who's very irate in the lobby, who's unrelated, or is this actually their mother?
This is why she's so bad at directions.
She's got a knife.
Just a belligerent maniac.
But they don't care, so I want to assume it's not the mother. I want to assume that this is so milquetoast to them, and a daily procedure, that it gets no rise out of them.
This is basically low rent scene building. Yeah. They didn't act it out. They just had a couple of actors play like a crazy woman and some cops yelling, "Oh no, she's crazy! She's got a knife!"
Yeah.
And it's like their reactions to it are "Fuck you, Twinkies!"
I love that.
Oh, cut your nuts off. That would be probably pretty easy because that skin is very pliable.
Even further than Lorena Bobbitt.
I can't believe women tolerate men's genitals.
You've said that before.
I know. It never ceases to amaze me.
And it creates mental images that make me unhappy.
Yeah. Not only do they tolerate, sometimes, I mean, they believe me, they get bombarded.
All that really proves is that you're not gay.
Oh, me?
I'm not either, but, you know.
No, I know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
it's totally cool.
Yeah. All right, enough about genitals. I was going to talk about dick pics, but it's just send only. Okay, here's what. Hey, fellas, only send requested dick pics. Don't do it when it's unrequested. It's not complicated.
Yes, the supply and demand version of those is very heavy on the supply, very low on the demand.
Yes, but it's okay if you're exchanging, like, hey, check out my nipple, and like, ooh, you want to see my dick? She's like, yeah, let's show it to me. I want to see what I'm doing. You know, like then you're having sexy time with your phones.
And if your name's Anthony Weiner, probably shouldn't do it.
Keep the kid out of the picture, you fucking kook. Goddamn Anthony Weiner. All right, Taser, get her. So anyway, this is just business as usual. He's just sipping his coffee, taking notes, and they're just kind of. And then David Koechner walks in, other Fusco. This is the Mo of the trio.
Yes.
And he, just kind of takes a look at it, and not really, but so they got some new info about Dougie. All right, you can take over now.
This
I'm rambling
to me is the biggest FU to the audience ever.
Oh, all right.
We have been waiting. We have been connecting the dots. We have been saying, finally, there is going to be a connection made between the fact that the Fusco brothers got the prints off the mug of Dougie Jones, who we know is Cooper, to the fact that we know that the prints are going to be identical to Evil Cooper, and they're going to be identical to every other instance of Cooper that ever existed. So he is going to make the connection between the fingerprints to Agent Dale Cooper, the missing FBI agent, to Dougie Jones being Dougie Jones, and he is going to start putting the pieces together.
Right.
To Evil Cooper as well as being someone who has escaped from a maximum security facility as well.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the one trend, the one common theme that's going to bring the whole case crashing down.
Okay.
And they have this evidence in their hand. They're looking at it as a team, and their response to it is,
that's a huge fucking mistake.
They think it's so... They think it's so absurd, it's so implausible, they literally ball it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
This is Lynch saying, oh, you think I know where I was going with this? F you.
So what is this? Does this just completely end their storyline?
No, but
because they're not proceeding with this evidence that they're dismissing?
I feel as though this is Lynch saying, you can't predict me, don't try and predict me.
See, I thought that because he's an FBI agent just basically meant, man, it's the government's jurisdiction, not ours. We're local, they're federal. It's their problem, not ours. That's how I
saw it a different way. But, it's open to interpretation. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, let us know in the comments below. Yes. But they do the $1 on the, and like, yeah, and so he shoots $1. He shoots the thing, and he makes it, and they each give him $1. All right, I don't know why that bothered me.
Then Matthew McConaughey somehow gets in the room. I don't know where he came from. All right. I just learned that he opened his own clothing store where he sells shirts that say, all right.
Well, that's because he's a brilliant businessman. Those are very comfortable shirts I've been wearing.
And if anyone here has watched the Dark Tower movie in theaters, I grieve with you.
Oh, yeah, you saw it. You hated it? We'll do our review later, but yeah.
It angered me on levels that I did not know existed.
Did Matthew McConaughey dressed up as a magician do any good for the movie?
He wore a V-neck.
Ugh, I hate V-necks.
Can't do
You
that.
should wear W necks.
He wasn't bad, but the role that was written for him, atrocious.
All right, yeah, horrible movie. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
I'm glad I forgot.
If you've
most
seen
of
the
it.
book and you don't like being prone to fits of rage, stay away.
Yeah, yeah. Don't bring Twizzlers to that theater because you'll be throwing them against the screen and then they make a zzz noise when they
The
slide
only
down.
thing good about that screening that I went to
Fruit
is I went and got a very alcohol-laced drink before I went in. ArcLight Cinemas, Culver City, go there.
Okay.
You can drink in the theater.
James, now they're going to know where we live. Ah!
We don't live in the theater.
Yeah.
For all I know, I drew 50 miles. I drove
Drove.
50 miles. I drew 50
Not on,
miles.
Not on that moonshine you're having.
Ugh.
Yeah, but you can drink at the theater. It's pretty fun.
You can. It makes life better.
Yeah, well, why treat human adults like adults?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. It's nice. All right, so he's out back grabbing. Okay, so they're looking for. This is the dollar
Okay,
thing.
so this is Anthony Sullivan.
Scaramouche Sullivan
Scaramucci.
comes in.
He is coming in
He's looking
because
for another cop.
he knows that he has to commit a crime. He knows that he has to kill Dougie Jones.
Right.
And he is not a violent man, so he's looking for a very passive way of doing it. So he's going to a police officer who's also a colluding figure with Duncan Todd to ask for advice and help in completing this task.
Yeah, and doesn't really try to. He doesn't try to hide what he's up to. I mean, I know they're in the alley or the back or something, but he's like, I need a poison
Right,
to
but
kill. I have to kill somebody.
I think he's aware that, we don't know it at this point, but I think he's aware that most, if not all, of the police department is in collusion with Duncan Todd.
Yeah,
The
maybe.
ones around him don't care what he's saying because they're also aware of this relationship between this shady organization run by Duncan Todd and the police department.
Right. This poor man's Harvey Keitel right here, huh?
Yeah.
But there's this guy over here that would make you go, oh, maybe I shouldn't use the word poison with an earshot of a bunch of cops.
This is the same guy who called Duncan Todd on his company phone.
I know, but you're at a police station. Like, don't skateboard at the police station. You get what I'm saying? Like, you want, like, duh. Keep it under wraps. Call them CD-ROMs. Hey, I need to CD-ROM somebody.
And there's a story I could tell you that would make this make a lot more sense in terms of who's playing this character, but I can't. I'll tell you after we stop recording. Sorry, audience.
James is so mysterious. All right, fine.
It's work
What are
related.
you turning into the Oracle from the Matrix?
No,
Is that
it's something that I just can't say out loud.
Yeah, well, you work in the entertainment world.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. All right, so I work in the desperation side of the entertainment business, the side where people want their opinions to be heard, and that's never going to happen. So he does give him help. He's like, a conatine. That's my crime labs are getting wise to it, but now it'll work. But you're going to cost you $5,000, right? He tells him it's $5,000, and but I'm doing a terrible job of summarizing.
No, you're doing a good job.
No, not at all. So, but yeah, so this is his plan though. $5,000, but he's mean to him. He's like, "You're a little coward. You're a chicken shit."
Yeah.
He's calling him names and stuff. So that's not really cool.
Just because they serve the same boss doesn't mean that they're friends.
Yeah, and cops get to call people names. So why else become a cop? So he kind of is like, okay, fine. And then the other guy comes over who seems to we find out is corrupt. His proximity to their conversation had me nervous. Not nervous,
Right.
you know what I mean? But I was like noticing that. But it turns out they're like kind of all in cahoots with each
Yeah,
other.
I mean, this speaks to the power of Duncan Todd and his organization. Before, we knew he was just some sort of guy who was colluding with Philip Jeffries and orchestrating crimes and fraud and something, but it shows that his tendrils go very deep.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, a corrupt cop is a pretty cliche character. And they do
True.
happen in real life for sure. It's not,
Yeah.
obviously it's a small minority, but yeah, okay, fine. All right, so then we get into some crunching, and whenever there is crunching, there is Chantal.
Well, there is a bag of Doritos, and where there's a bag of Doritos, there is Chantel.
An emergency condom. Sorry,
What?
that's gross. All right, they don't drink liquor, and I don't know what that.
They're talking about Mormons.
Oh yeah, Mormons, and you can marry a bunch. You can plural marriage, 6 or 10 women. He's like, hey, but there's not more of them.
They say, I guess it's the drink thing, because they don't drink coffee, they don't drink Coca-Cola, they don't drink alcohol, which is the only 3 drinks that are acceptable in my life.
Yeah, and those are the only 3 drinks that get you horny.
Well, I can never be a Mormon.
No, who? Yeah, I mean, come on, have you? Yeah, Jesus Christ, you crazy? That's why, all right, I was about to shut
That's exactly what Jesus said to Joseph Smith.
Jesus Christ, you crazy?
Yeah.
He says his name before he talks. That's
Yeah,
it.
he speaks. He's like Bob Dole. He speaks in the third person.
Well, he knows there's going to be subtitles.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so they're on their way. Do we know where they're headed? But she's always eating snacks. That's her quirk.
Yeah.
And his quirk is being Tim Roth. So, all right, whatever. Who cares? All right, so then Janie E. rolls up.
They're just coming back from killing Warden Murphy.
Yeah, right. So important scene. Really moved the plot along. Okay, so I'm sure there's more to it or something. I don't know. Janie E. comes by. She's feeling good. Got this fun new car. Look at these great seats, James. Those are real comfortable. I can promise you. My Prius has comfortable seats.
Yes.
This fucking BMW
This
probably
is the
has
BMW courtesy of the Mitchum brothers.
We got a nice convertible there, and she reaches over. She's all smiles and stuff. But he's still Dougie. He's still this like weird.
Frustratingly so, he is still Dougie.
Yeah.
If they end this series, this return to Twin Peaks after 25 years, and Dougie Jones is still Dougie Jones at the end of it, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to have to freak out. I'd like to hear you scream and yell at least once.
I'm
working on it.
If they do that, by the very end, I will scream.
Squad goals. I don't believe they will. I definitely thought that Dougie as this iteration was going to last like 3 episodes.
I know, I've been patient.
The first, like we first meet him, you're like, oh, he's gonna the new guy's gonna emerge by the next episode.
I will continue to be patient as well, but I have a breaking point.
Okay. James turns into the Incredible Sulk. He gets a little bit blue,
and that is my second favorite joke of the year.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. No wonder they sell alcoholic comedy clubs. I can see why.
They do. It works.
All right, so she's all aglow. She looks like she just had a baby or had sex or something.
She looks like a skeleton that just escaped from a skeleton lab.
Why? Because of her great arms?
She looks very.
She's toned. She's got that's called Hollywood actress arms. She looks good. I think she's doing terrific. She's a white BMW. I mean, she's in a white BMW. She's okay. Why am I making it about race? All right, so hey, see you later, and closes the door. She's like, oh, Dougie. He just leaves the door open. Come on, how rude. So off she goes. She loves driving her car.
And she goes off and kills multiple pedestrians in her BMW.
She slams through
as you do.
Yeah, she slams through a farmer's market looking for discount asparagus. All right, so thud. He walks right into the thing. Good acting job.
Yep.
I think he just walked into it though. Kyle
He
MacLachlan,
did.
Way to go, man.
So,
he really nailed it.
So basically what's happening here is that Anthony Sinclair is waiting in the lobby to meet with Dougie Jones because he knows he only has 1 day to kill this man or else Duncan Todd is going to come for his neck.
Right. So a guy comes by. He's a little confused by this mysterious, impenetrable, but see-through object in
Which
front of him.
tells us that every freaking day he goes to work, someone has to do this for him.
Yeah, that's right. You can sort of see like a forehead print there, maybe? Is that what, like when you're on a
I think they probably clean it daily.
when you got a public bus and you see that slime.
I used to work in a building where the entire front of it was glass. Actually, I work in one where the entire front is total glass, and they clean it daily.
Yeah, well, sure, they usually do, yeah. But that could be from right now. Anyway, the guy comes in and is like, oh, come on, get in there. He just like helps him get inside. Morning, Dougie! Tom Sizemore comes up. Arthur or something, right?
Anthony Sinclair.
And he goes, cup of coffee, or coffee. He's really excited. He hears the word coffee and he just lights up like a kid on coffee Christmas.
I think Mr. C could be Mr. Coffee.
Could be. Yeah, could be. Famous coffee.
So again,
what word is this?
Sizemons. I can't pronounce that correctly. I know it's Jewish type.
SZY.
Yeah, someone mentioned that was the origins of it and they could pronounce it correctly. I can't pronounce it correctly. But you do notice, what is the O?
A delicious sun.
It looks like a cherry pie to me.
It's a beautiful cherry pie. Look at that.
So it's coffee and cherry pie. Mm-hmm. It seems like heaven for Dougie Jones.
Yeah. The only thing else that would make that nice would be his wife's... I almost said the word, James. I almost said vagina. All right.
Okay.
All right, so they've got a jar of sand on the table for some reason. That's pretty weird. It's probably natural sugar. I know everybody. Real sugar. It's that weird brown sugar. It's not brown sugar. It's actually... Okay, whatever. And then, ooh, boy. He brings his mug. He takes a sip.
So Anthony Sinclair knows Dougie's one weakness. Yeah. We know he's got poison. We know he knows that Dougie loves coffee, so we can assume that he's going to try and deliver the poison to Dougie Jones via coffee.
But he's got to wait for the right moment to present itself.
I mean,
and then
honestly, if you just reached over and dumped it in now, Dougie wouldn't know any difference.
Yeah, he could actually just have Dougie tilt his head back and just pour it into his mouth.
So why do you presume that Dougie walked over there?
What drew his attention? I don't know.
Come on,
why would I lie about that?
There's only one thing it could be. We're not shown it, but we know it had to happen.
Well, I know it was pie, but what got him to look up and go, oh,
I would stake my life that the fact that he walked over there is related to Mike from the lodge beckoning him over there.
With one of those like little flame thingies or those floaty vision things?
He doesn't do anything on his own unless he is coerced to do it. So we know that Mike is trying to get him away from this guy.
So you didn't... they didn't show it.
They did not show it, but I'm
Okay.
speculating that is why he walked over there.
Yeah.
Because you can't see the pie from there.
Yes, maybe he noticed this pie. Maybe that's what did it.
You think he would like grab at the picture though?
It is kind of yeah. He'd be just pawing at the picture.
Yeah.
Pie.
I'm gonna say Mike had a hand in this, and only one hand because it only has one hand.
Pie. That's Dougie having sex. Yes. All right, so coffee maker gurgling. That's also Dougie having sex.
You mean coffee drinker gurgling?
Yeah. All right. Famous cherry pie. They got all kinds of good pie. It does look good though. I do like a piece of pie. I think a warm apple pie. Although yes, every once in a while I crave a good blueberry with a graham cracker crust. I don't even know if that sounds like it's a good combo, but I bet it would be great. Oh man, I'm fucking starving all of a sudden. Yeah, he just wants it. He just can't. He just needs to get it. He's like a kid at the polar bear exhibit at the zoo. You know what I mean?
Now, this may be the first time that we've seen Dougie with coffee and cherry pie at the same time. I thought for sure this was going to snap him out of it.
This is going to be enough to bring him back.
That was, I had my fingers crossed. It was like, I don't care about being wrong about this whole 3-hour thing. Bring him back.
Well, what's next episode has to be next episode for you to be right?
I would think so. Yeah, I think
yeah, that's so. Okay. So that's one of James's predictions about the 3-episode thing. All right. So anyway, he drags a cup over, does a real suspicious. This is what you do on your first day of being a criminal. Look around real suspiciously, like, I hope nobody sees me, and then tears it open, dumps it in there, and then slides the coffee cup back. But now he's committed. Now he's actually done the poison. And poor old Dougie just wants a piece of pie, just like a good old male. Just loves a good, and female, I guess. Everybody likes pie. Coffee, and just says that, and the girl says she'll bring it over to him. But now he's got.
So is this dandruff, or is this something that is projected onto his back by the lodge that is intended to draw the attention of Dougie? To me, it looks like dirt or dandruff.
I remember.
It doesn't look like points of light or anything special or ethereal to me.
No, it's not that. But I remember seeing some crud on his suit jacket in a previous shot way earlier. If I can find it real quick, I might click on it. But no, I can't find it. Right here. So there was like this. See that crap?
Okay, yeah, I do see that. Good call.
Yeah, I do remember noticing that, and now I got to scroll through and find the spot again. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, right here, the back. There it is. Okay, I mean, I haven't seen dandruff in a long time. It's been a while. Not just myself or whatever, but like I'm not like around that many people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. It looks like sand or maybe crumbs from like somebody had some bread.
It's like someone ate a bagel over his shoulder.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, or like the
or Pop-Tart
cornmeal you put when you put it on a pizza peel to make pizza. Oh man, I could go for some pizza. Okay, but Dougie's drawn to it.
He's
for
fascinated
some reason.
by it, and he's poking at it as though he's giving him a back massage almost. But it's almost as though Tom Sizemore's character Anthony Sinclair seems to interpret this as though he is on to him, that he's accusing him, that he's pointing the finger quite literally at him, that he's up to something.
Okay.
And I like to interpret this as though the dirt on his back is irrelevant, and I think that through the eyes of Dougie Jones, there's probably like a little fire symbol there, and he's poking at that. I think what he's going after is something we can't see, much like I theorized that the reason he went back into the coffee shop was in reaction to something that we couldn't see.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. He's got to be driven by something, so there must be some connection to some past event where he touched sand or touched grit or dirt or something. I don't know. I don't think it's more like I read it. To me this had a vibe like when a kitten like needs, kneading, KNEAD, like pushes, or cats like sort of a gentle.
My mother always had a word for that. She would say, "Ooh, he's making biscuits."
Making biscuits? I like that. That's about right. Yeah, making biscuits. I love when the cats do that. They're just trying to stimulate your mammary gland, by the way. That's what they're doing. But, and it works every time for me. I just start squirting milk out of every hole in my body. But, to me, this read like a gentle touch, like a gentle animal, like an innocence. Right. There was an innocence to this investigation.
But that is not how Anthony Sinclair interpreted it.
What do you mean?
He basically sees this as a confession. He's saying, "There's your coffee, Dougie, drink it." But Dougie continues to prod him and poke him in the back as though giving him the accusatory finger, saying, "I know what you're doing." To me, that I would not read it that way at all.
Okay.
But it seems that Anthony Sinclair is so on edge, he's so paranoid and so uneasy about what is happening right now, that he sees this as Dougie saying, "I know what you're doing. I've caught you."
Okay, all right.
It seems unrealistic to me too.
Your explanation and my explanation both could have the exact same outcome, which is what happens, which is he like kind of has a change of heart and he decides not to do it and he confesses.
But he does say to Bushnell later on, Dougie saw right through me.
Yeah. So maybe, but okay, all right. I just for me it's like 0 to 100. Like, what's your level of confidence on that assessment? Sometimes you can say, oh, I have 100% confidence, or I have 0. I feel like you should come at that with like a 52% confidence.
Here's the thing.
There's not a lot of evidence for your case.
No.
Nor is there much for mine.
Dougie has no idea there's poison in his coffee cup, nor does he have the ability to comprehend that will bring about his death.
I know.
I'm not saying that at all.
I know you're not saying that.
But the fact that he later on says that Dougie saw right through me tells us conclusively for a 100%, there's no speculation here whatsoever. This is the fact that he's interpreting this as though Dougie already knows what he's up to. That's why he confesses.
I think
there's no speculation needed.
I think well, it's all pure speculation because
he confesses.
I know, but you can't be fully confident based on what you're seeing in this scene in this moment.
I can be confident based on a confession.
No, you can't. You can't. There's not enough evidence to be 100%. That's my point.
I'm saying later on. I know.
All right. Well, later on changes the thing. But all I'm saying though, my point is that we know that Anthony Sinclair, right? Arthur?
No, Tony Eclair.
Tony Eclair. Tony Lunar Eclipse.
Yes.
Is very uncomfortable with this whole murdering this guy thing.
Yeah.
Right? That's obviously not sitting well.
He's a timid guy.
So the human touch, this little bit of like what probably felt like, I don't want to say affection, but it, he wasn't like, don't touch me, Ben. He didn't like flinch and go, hey, what are you doing? He was just like, oh my God, he's touching my back. Oh shit. Oh fuck. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back on his the weight that was on his conscience.
Okay.
Just needed a little bit of human touch.
So you're saying that he is showing affection to him, and the affection is what breaks his psyche to the point where he says, I can't do this.
He was close to the tipping point, and this pushed him over the tipping point, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But my point is, both your theory and my theory.
I'll buy into that 25%.
Fair. That's totally fair. Because I'm coming at my thing with 55% confidence.
I'm coming at that with 95% moonshine.
It sounds great. Yeah, good. We got, if you run out, we can get some rubbing alcohol.
Well, I got plenty more.
Yeah, or you could just open your zipper and piss in your own mouth. You ever do that? I did. I didn't understand how to do the ASL challenge. I fucked it up. All right. Whoa, whimpers. Oh God. So he realizes I can't do this. So he grabs the coffee and he runs off. I was hoping this would be like a Princess Bride scene where he had like iocane powder in both of them. I spent years building up an immunity to iocane powder.
I think you know what that word means.
Yeah. Me?
No, that was the scene from actually.
Oh, yeah.
Where he says inconceivable.
Yes.
Anyway, so much like the dog who eats the other dog's food bowl, when you take his own food bowl away, Dougie sits down and enjoys the coffee of Anthony Sinclair.
Well, it's a crime to let good coffee go unswilled. So yeah, he goes right for it. Oh man, and this is us. Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe we got Cooper coming.
I was
back
thinking
here.
You got the cherry pie, you got the coffee side by side, double teaming the psyche of Dale Cooper. Maybe it's enough.
And again, with another adventure of the dumbass criminal here, he just goes and makes a giant scene in a bathroom. He flushes it in the urinal. Like
fingerprints all over the cup.
That's
witness.
Totally like yeah, but like just walk over to the sink and pour it and rinse it. Come on, dumbass! Don't dump it in the urinal. It's so noticeable.
The evidence, the cup away in the paper towel bin.
Throws it out. It's like, what are you doing? Meanwhile, Dougie's just...
And the guy at the urinal says, "That bad, huh?" Yeah, referencing the quality of the coffee.
Right. And so Dougie just having at it, loving it, man.
Dougie doesn't know how to do a lot of things on his own, but he has regained the ability to use a fork.
He can use a fork. Well, he's done that before. It's not his first fork.
No, but it shows that he's retained that. Yes, which is important.
We can only assume that we know how he came out of an electrical socket. What do people do with electrical sockets?
They shove forks into them.
It's America's pastime.
Yeah,
and that's where he got that knowledge. So Dougie, he's overwhelmed. I'm so sorry. This is I can only describe this acting as Lynchian.
Yeah, it's over the top, and that's exactly what it's intended to be.
And weird. I wonder how much pie Kyle MacLachlan ate.
It's funny because I bet
he's going to ask that question.
I saw an interview with Kyle MacLachlan, and he said
did he have his abs out when he was rubbing them?
No. But he did say that when I returned to Twin Peaks, I was worried about how much cherry pie I would have to eat. And then he said, fortunately, not that much.
It happened to be chocolate cake as well.
So he did not have to eat a whole lot. We've seen him eat cherry pie on a few occasions so far.
But he's not pounding it.
He is not episodically every single time we see him downing pie after pie.
Cut. All right, get him a new piece. Take 74.
Yeah.
He's eaten half of a pie 74 times. All right. RR Cafe stands for George R.R. Martin Cafe. That's not Norma. That's
Shelley.
Becky's mom?
Becky's mom is Shelley.
Yes. Becky's mom, Shelley. Working the counter, doing her thing, and she's running around. She gets a phone call. It happens to be Becky, who's been having a little trouble with her relationship.
Yes,
in that
Stephen is the drug-addled piece of garbage, abusive husband.
Who never came home.
He is the Leo to Shelley.
Leo? You mean like
Leo was Shelley's husband, who was abusive and drug-addled as well.
I was thinking Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was like, wow, he's not really the go-to for drug-addled, abusive husbands. He's the go-to for slinging dick around 40 supermodels.
Yes, he is known for that.
Man, I wish I was known for that. I've only done 20. Google.com, everybody. Google it. Turn on adult search. Supermodel. You're going to have a great weekend. All right. Oh, Sonny, I'm so sorry, baby. Well, maybe just... So she's just like, I don't know. And she's upset. But she goes, you know what? I'll tell you what. Come on down here. I'll make you a nice piece of pie and like a milkshake or something. And she offers her
whipped cream and some ice cream.
Yeah, she sells it. Yeah, a little ice cream. Oh, man, I fucking love vanilla ice cream on pie. Mm-hmm. So that's not my favorite ice cream, but just vanilla ice cream with apple pie or blueberry or something, or even cherries. Yeah, cherry's not really my favorite pie, but I'll eat it. Don't get me wrong. I'll definitely.
Vanilla is the most popular ice cream flavor.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, all right. I like a mix of stuff. You know, humans do cool shit with ice cream, and whipped cream. And so she's like, all right, that sounds pretty good. She comes in. I like her jacket though. That's a cool looking shirt. I don't know why. So off she goes, and she kind of perks up a little bit, but, you know, she's going to have a bad day, but that's how you get over
all right, events. So she's putting Coke and what else at the same time?
High C.
High C.
No.
High C, Mr. C.
Or it could be Pibb, because it's hard. So 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2...
So it's 3. Mr. Pibb and
I think Mr.
Coke.
Pibb, then.
Okay. Nothing to be read into that.
No. Not at all, right? That's just fucking product placement.
Or Mr. Pibb is next to High C.
Goddamn corporations.
Mr. Pibb, Mr. High CC, Mr. C.
Oh, Mr. High Cooper.
And his performance is fluid.
And when Dougie had sex with Janie, he lasted a minute. Maid.
And he called her sugar.
And then he barked all over her chest. and she said Sprite. Why I didn't even try on that one. And then Coke. They snorted some Coca-Cola.
That is the most believable part of the whole story you just wove.
Yeah. I wove. Thank you.
You wove.
I'm very wove.
Okay.
Hey, James, I want to change my new Twitter name to Wokahontas.
Yes.
Because I'm such a liberal woke guy. But woke. All right.
Whoa, God.
All right. Oh, so he's still having his bad day here. Now.
So Anthony Sullivan is now confessing to Bushnell about his collusion with Robert Duncan. Yeah. And his attempted murder of Dougie. He is completely coming clean because he cannot live with himself after everything he's done.
Yeah.
He is a highly emotional person who basically values his own emotional well-being more than his own life because he is going against Duncan Todd, a man who is not to be trifled with.
No, he knows that by confessing he's asking to, receive...
But he is such an emotional guy that his conscience will not allow him to keep it bottled up anymore.
Right. As are we all.
And I like that he says, I've been working for Todd, because what that tells us is that Duncan Todd is not some sort of seedy, unknown entity. That Bushnell is aware of who this guy is simply by calling him Todd. Oh. He's a known quantity.
Yeah, all right, yeah. He's probably in the Vegas evil businesses or something. So now you're confessing.
And Bushnell's basically saying, yes, I know all this already. Dougie informed me of this, and Dougie even implicated himself in informing me of this.
In the scams that he was doing with the insurance scams.
Right, which is relating to all the weird drawings that Dougie was coerced by the lodge into drawing on those case files.
Right.
So Bushnell read a lot into that, and now we're getting a little bit of an insight into what Bushnell interpreted through those drawings, which is kind of comical to me.
Well, and I like that they tied that thread up. I mean, it's good. It's like this show needs more of that. It's got a lot of threads. This is like one of those shag carpets or something. It's just it's been in a hurricane of needles. What does that even mean? And when they do wrap up a thread, I appreciate that because they should be doing that more. But I hope to see more in the second half of the season here. Because what are there 55 episodes to go? Something like that?
No. Right, so, I wish there were 55 to go.
Yeah.
I know you don't, but I do.
18 is a lot. All right, so
18 is not enough.
Okay, all right. So I don't know what they're saying. Are you prepared to testify? So he's basically saying, all right, well, now the only option is to get the authorities involved, and we're gonna have to.
Now here's an interesting thing. I don't know if he said Duncan Todd originally. He says he's been colluding with Todd. and now Bushnell is saying Duncan Todd.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Bushnell is bringing in the word Duncan to this, as though it's obvious who Todd is.
Yeah, he knew who he was talking about. I wouldn't read too much into that. That sounds pretty normal. But yeah, he vomited blood. So his stress is killing him. He's going crazy. He couldn't do it. He wants to die or change, and that's good. So he gives him a few quarters, and he sends him on his way.
And that kind of goes back to the line that David Lynch's character Cole said when he was talking to Denise. They need to fix their hearts or die.
Right.
Change or die.
Change or die. That's pretty much it. Sounds like something David Lynch would say. You do feel like you get to know David Lynch through this, though. Yep. I will say that. Like, you do kind of get the sense for who that guy is.
He puts a lot of himself in his work.
Yeah, and I respect that about him. I have issues with a lot of it, but it's all overridden by the fact that he just does whatever the fuck he wants. And I have a ton of respect for that. So anyway, well, let me just do this. That's fun. That's fun for the whole family there. Okay, so he's just overwhelmed. He can't handle it. But, Dougie, he's such a sweet... Everything works out for Dougie, though, man. This guy can't...
But he says, thank you, Dougie, and Dougie's like, thank Dougie.
Yeah.
As though he's simply, again, mimicking and repeating, but it's almost as though he's giving a command to thank him.
Maybe we should all try that in our own lives and see how far it gets us. If you get me $400,000 and I got to bang some guy's wife, that would be awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. I had sex with a married woman
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that bad? Is it wrong to confess that?
That.
Is it?
It.
Information Technology? By Stephen King? All right. Indistinct Chatter. Yeah, there they go. This is
Bobby Briggs.
Bobby Briggs, damn it.
Who is now a deputy. Who was
Bobby
the
Briggs.
ex-husband of Shelley Briggs, who apparently frequents the diner all the time because not only did his ex-wife work there, but he says I'll have the usual.
But for the record, the married woman, she said she was allowed to. Just so I want to... All right.
She was allowed to what?
Bang dudes.
Well, yeah. It was. I think it was a mutual separation.
I'm talking about my life, not the show.
What?
I just don't want... All right, fine.
I'm confused.
All right, good. All right, well, let's keep going. It's okay.
You're more confusing than Lynch.
I am. Albert. All
and
right.
did you notice, if you go back one screen, who was sitting at that table? Did that give a big rise out of you? Because it sure as heck did for me.
You mean behind him there?
No,
this guy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the gas station guy,
As
right?
Big Ed Hurley.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen him in this series of season 3. It's a huge moment.
I like his hair.
Big Ed's gas farm.
Yeah. What's up with that? Yeah, he looks... Okay.
And Big Ed and Norma had a torch for each other for a very long time, but because we know of Hank's evil intervention, they didn't get a chance to marry when he was in Vietnam, sending love letters back to Norma, so Norma eventually shacked up with someone else.
Oh, man.
And Norma shacked up with Hank.
Well, of course.
And then Big Ed had to be, had to do something, and he ended up being laden with the horrific Nadine. Mrs. Run Silent, Run Drapes.
Oh, that lady. Oh, so he was married to the eye patch lady.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And, the last time I told that story about her eye patch and how she came to lose her eye, people in the comments kind of said I was wrong about it, but the story I was telling was the story directly from The Secret History of Twin Peaks, which explicitly lays out how it happened, that she was paranoid about his relationship with Norma, that she snuck away on the hunting trip that he was on, thinking that he was meeting with Norma in the woods, and unbeknownst to him, she rustled some bushes, he shot, and her eye got shot out.
Okay, all right.
So there are two different stories of it. I think that the real story is the story I just told. But I think that the story that they tell the public to save embarrassment to Nadine is the version in which they were hunting together and the buckshot ricocheted off a rock and caught her in the eye. So I think that's the difference.
Okay. All right. But you're... Okay. All right. Yes. I think she comes up later on here.
Very important details.
Yes. great side aside there. She's in this episode, I think, right? Anyway,
is.
Let's try to get through this whole scene because I don't know what the fuck why any of this matters at all. This guy here, he likes her. He wants to bang her, right? And they seem
but I
to know
believe
each other
he's still
pretty
married to Nadine because Nadine's name in the credits is still Nadine Hurley, and he's Big Ed Hurley.
Okay. Well, sometimes you get divorced and you still keep your husband's name. My mom did that when she divorced, when my parents divorced, because she wanted to keep the name for the kids, I think.
No.
I don't know. Maybe she's just lazy. I don't know. So we found some stuff that my dad left. So anyway,
His dad being Major Garland Briggs.
Right. There's really nothing new, no new information there though. The woman brings over his dinner, which looks like a plate of hash browns with ketchup and some French bread.
Looks like spaghetti and garlic bread to me.
Oh yeah, maybe spaghetti. Why did I think it was hash browns and ketchup? God, I'm weird. So she gets up and he's like, hey, you want me to leave you alone so you can work your magic on the beautiful Norma?
But he confirms that there's nothing going on there. And then
he says there's nothing going on.
Well, he says that, and then we're confirmed by the entrance of this guy named Walter, who
Hey, girl.
immediately out of the gates, shows that he's having some sort of relationship with Norma.
Yes.
So this means that the tragic story of Big Ed Hurley and Norma, they are still not together, and Norma has embraced another romantic lead into her life.
Right. Yeah, she's got, maybe they're a boyfriend, maybe they're just, have whatever, who knows what the thing is. But they're like, all right, we'll let you two there, you got to talk business.
Yeah.
So then he
this
does
Walter
this whole
guy,
thing.
Does he strike you as a local to Twin Peaks?
No,
he looks to me like someone who's coming from the outside.
Yeah, he seems like a businessman traveler. Basically. I mean, they did a fine job casting him, I guess. And so he kind of gets into this whole, like, oh, yeah, we got this reports and all the other, there's 5 other RR diner things, and they're doing 3 of them are profitable. That's great. We love it. And there it is. I like that he's got an iPad. Not RR Diner and Norma's RR Diner. That's funny. So but he's like, yours isn't doing so well. Your pies are too... Everybody loves them, but you're not making enough money on them because your ingredients are too good, or you're not following the right formula. It doesn't... Why is this in this scene? What the fuck does this... Or in this show? Why does this have to do with anything?
It meant something to me. And this is a bit of a stretch, and I'm kind of going out there, but I feel as though this is Lynch saying, executives come to me and they say, this is what works on television now. This is the format you have to follow. This is the pacing you have to use. This is the character progression you have to adhere to. I'm here to tell you that this formula that I've been using, this irreverent, way of storytelling, is what I've been doing. It's what's worked for me. It's what people expect of me. It's what works for my audience. I am not going to change because I've established something here that's special, and I am not going to simply take your corporate advice and change who I am and what I am because you think it's going to work better.
So this is all just a metaphor for the way Lynch...
I think this is Lynch kind of tooting his own horn a little bit and saying, you know what, I'm going to keep things the way they are because this is how I like things. Sure, I might get better ratings. Sure, more people might watch, but if it wouldn't be Lynch then. It wouldn't be me.
Okay, all right, let's just accept that. We'll just say, yeah, all right, that's exactly what's going on. Still, my point stands.
It's self-serving.
Has nothing to do with the fucking show at all. Who cares if this diner is doing well? Unless there's some plot development around Norma and she needs money, or she fires Becky's mom or something, and then things go sour.
Just because
isn't it a little late in the season to be introducing new threads?
Just because I interpret it as this meta thing doesn't mean that it is. There could be another explanation for it.
It sounds like complete bullshit.
I will kill you with my empty Coke Zero.
With your Drogo fire that's going to be coming out of your moonshine hole soon.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, they're like, he's like the franchise guy. Is she the original Norma of this thing?
Yeah, she's Norma.
I know she's the original, her Norma, but is she the original diner owner? And like when the franchise came in, they invested and spread out, or did she buy a franchise from an already established company?
Quite remember whether or not she was the original owner of the RR Diner.
I don't care.
I'm sure it's in the Secret History of Twin Peaks, but I don't call that particular.
Okay. Yeah, it does. It's okay. I didn't need to ask. I mean, I'm not because of your answer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like.
And this is Lynch talking to himself. You're a real artist.
But love, this is how Lynch explains.
Yes, this is
to his wife.
Don't you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yes, I see what you're saying.
The board would like you to consider some alternatives.
Yeah.
The studios.
Yeah. I mean, and I imagine Lynch is probably in his career, although I doubt anymore. At least it must be minimized. But I imagine, there's been times where he made compromises he didn't want to make.
Oh yeah.
And probably kicks himself for it even to this day. And he's obviously a detail-oriented guy.
Anyone who would try Lynch's style today, taking that to an executive at a studio, they would look at you and say, "What are you smoking?
Right.
This is not going to play on TV."
Right. And that's why you can develop your own. Well, I mean, once he's established and once he's already had a few things proven to work,
you need to go
has an
a
audience.
very long road to establish yourself with a style like this that gets you on Showtime.
Yes, for sure. And watching this makes me want to look up more of Lynch's work and stuff. He made Mulholland Drive, right?
Yes, he did.
I was watching that with my mom, and all of a sudden there was some lesbians going at it, and it just got real uncomfortable.
He also did Avatar and Titanic.
Yeah, and he also dove to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
Yes, he did.
Or Marianas.
Without any sort of scuba gear whatsoever.
Right, just his hair.
Yeah, he just sat down there and said, "Albert, look at them, Albert." Giant trenches of stone.
Of stone. A whole planet of stone. All right, so you're the so he's like sweet talking her. So okay, and then she sort of seems to be like she's being told what to do, and then immediately he's like, so you want to go celebrate and have a little fun? And she's like, yeah, okay. It's like, I would think she'd be irritated. But they did go out of their way to
Big
show...
Ed is just glaring at him.
Well, he's looking over... I mean, I've had crushes on... what did I say? Dames.
Yeah, I think
and
this
you
still
look
shows,
over, and then, you know, like, oh, she gonna look at me, too. I hope she looks... Oh, man.
The tragic stories, Big Ed still carries the same torch.
Yeah, we're all cursed with the DNA of our ancestors. That makes us want to reproduce, and it involves a lot of fucking disappointment.
I think Ed's been at it long enough that it transcends that. I think it's real love with Ed.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Love, obsession, lust. Is there a difference?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't. I don't think they are. I think all. Of course, there's a difference. I think they're amoebas of concepts. They're not rigid. There's no strict thing of what one couple's love is not exactly the same as another couple's love. And when they are exactly the same, they're called swingers. Mm-hmm. Which are people that like to wipe up goo.
So,
all right, so
as soon as we see the next scene, I am dreading having to watch another Dr. Jacoby repeat broadcast with Nadine watching while sipping a smoothie.
Yes, I was kind of worried about that too. Fortunately, that did not happen. She was slurping a smoothie, so it was it almost was what we were worried it would be. Mm-hmm. And then a car drives by, tires screech. She sees and sees, oh, look who it is. Dr. Jacoby.
Yep.
He spotted his own shovel. Maybe he didn't know it was a sailor. Did. And he wanted to find out about the shovel. He investigated 1, 1, 2. If you combine the ones, it's 2. If you combine 2 plus 2, it's 44.
If you take the 1 and leave it alone, then add the 2 to the 1, you get a 3. Episode 13. 13, my lucky day, my lucky number.
13 plus 10, 23. A movie starring Jim Carrey. All right, so Dr. Jacoby, she's got the eye patch, and I don't know. They have this little niceties in there, you know.
She's meeting her idol, which is kind of weird because her idol is a local that she's probably met a million times in the past, but now she's got this newfound respect for him because he's this famous celebrity that she basically, you know, connects with.
Yeah, this would be like if I got to meet one of those YouTube women that plays with toys and you only ever see their hands.
Yeah. Do you think she would win in an arm wrestling match against Renzo?
Yeah.
I think she would,
she would, too.
I think she'd beat Mr. C.
Nobody drinks that much smoothie and doesn't get good at it.
You know she has, like, super strength, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Is that, like, a thing?
That's the thing.
Oh, really? She has?
She has, like, Hulk strength.
Oh, interesting. Oh, all right. Wow. She should be a logger. So, anyway, she's super proud of the quiet blinds. That's always a big deal for her.
And after 25 years, he's still completely obsessed with silent drapes. So good on you,
She's
Nadine.
probably traumatized near some loud drapes. So yeah, that's he's just super proud of it. He's got I don't know James, take over. I can't do
it's almost as though she is more into it than he is, and he doesn't even know how to present his ideas to her. Because I'm super thrilled by this. I saw you before years ago. You were slumped over in the supermarket looking for a potato, and there was a big storm outside. It was just this irreverent story that he was trying to make small talk with her that didn't really seem to go much anywhere. But I will say that the last time we heard a storm on the show, or a reference to a storm, it immediately transitioned to the same exact shot, or to a very similar shot in the previous episode, which was a reference of a storm, showing a storm to the infamous, dreaded, haunted Palmer house.
Okay. All right. Well, that's an interesting connection I never would have made. Yeah, okay. I like that. Let me just back up. So where the hell is this storyline going between Jacoby, or Jacoby, or whatever the fuck?
Jacoby.
Is his name Jake? Why is it Jacob? Why isn't it Jacob?
Because that's how it was written.
Jacob and Jacoby. Well, shouldn't it be Jacoby or Jacob or Jacoby and Jacob? Jacoby?
David Jacoby.
All right, sorry. I can't. I got stuck on a feedback loop there.
Which is very appropriate.
Where are these two going, though? Are they related to anything going on in any other characters' lives at all?
I don't read much out of it, but, you know, I'm sure there's something there that I'm just not seeing at the moment, and people can fill us in.
All right, sounds great. Okay,
and since you said feedback loop, now we're back at the Palmer's house. We are with Sarah Palmer, who we witnessed. You know, she's watching TV. It's a boxing fight.
Yep,
is it an old footage of, you know, Bushnell fighting? Who the heck knows? We don't really know.
Could be, yeah.
Could be. But what does it say?
Finally goes down, hangs on to the ropes.
Well, before that, you missed a line.
All right. The right hand catches the big guy by the ear. We're going to see it all multiple times here.
Yeah.
And he finally goes down, hangs on to the ropes, and now it's a boxing match again. This is by the way, Sarah Palmer.
Yes, we mentioned that.
Oh, all right. Well, she's out of booze. Remember, she left the grocery store. That's the whole thing here. So anyway, she's just swigging it up.
Is it about the bunnies?
These bunnies.
Is it about the bunnies?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
But
is it about the macaroni?
Is that macaroni?
Yes.
Or is it Cheetos, James? Or perhaps Raisin Bran? Blah, blah. All right, but she's having a bad time. I mean, she's drinking. She's got pills. Not that that's necessarily bad. She's probably got some prescriptions or something. Smoking a ton, drinking, eating shit food, watching boxing.
Okay, so
like this is basically what my older age is going to be.
This
like.
raises some questions. The last time we saw her in this scene, she was watching like an Animal Planet documentary where a lion was eating a buffalo or something.
Yeah,
it was violence.
Yeah,
Again,
violent.
she's watching boxing match, violence, like this visceral thing.
Yep.
But in this case, it's looping. It's repeating itself, like you said, a feedback loop. The last time I can recall seeing a feedback loop, and this is something that jogged my memory off Reddit, so again, I don't take credit for this. This is something that reminded me, so
Fair enough.
having said that,
okay.
There was that scene with the woodsman where he was in the radio tower, or the radio station, who's repeating that poem. He's like, drink deep from the well, and so forth. The white is the something of the horse, or referencing the pale horse. Mm-hmm. Which Sarah Palmer is the only person that we know of who has seen that horse, aside from Dale Cooper.
Okay.
So that's a connection directly to her. The fact that he repeats it over and over and over, and it seems like almost every time this thing loops, she takes a drink deeply from the well, it seems as though there might be a connection here. But the question I have is she even cognizant? Is she aware that it's looping, or is she herself trapped in a loop?
Oh, well, that's an interesting thought. I mean, the vodka, she runs out of booze. Like, they make a kind of a thing. She brings a thing. She's sort of like, she makes a disappointed face. She measures out a little bit of the martini juice or whatever that red shit's called, and just takes the last swig and leans back. And then she's like, oh, I guess that's all my booze for the night.
And you see the
which
picture,
tells me that she's not really in a loop. But maybe she is, though. That's an interesting thought.
And you see the picture that's on the table back there, too?
Right here?
That is Laura Palmer and Donna Hayward.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew that. All right. What is it? What's the significance of that? Anything?
They were best friends, and Laura Palmer was her daughter, so she still has love and recollections of her daughter.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it'd be weird if she had a picture of like her daughter's corpse, like still got like glamour shots as the years go by.
And the picture frame is wrapped in plastic.
It's a little wet and bloody. All right, that's terrible jokes. All right, so anyway, punch, take that face. Looks like round number 1 and number 2 are underway. So it's just the loop going over and over. She puts out her smoke, gets up, more of the same, punch.
Yeah, so the question I have for the people watching is, does the dialogue that we're seeing, the right hand catches the big guy by the ear, is there something more to that? We know that Sarah Palmer is like a conduit. She's like a lightning rod for electrical interference. We presume that she has the ability to like psychically link with the lodge, that electricity and communications through electricity are picked up by her in a way that other people are not able to perceive it.
Okay.
So is there something to the sputtering static, to the repeating loop, to the words that are spoken during the boxing match that we're not picking up at the moment? I'd love to hear people's thoughts on it.
Let us know in the comments below. I have no idea. Now, Audrey Horne.
We're back to Audrey.
Right. So she's stressed out. They're looking for somebody named Billy.
The last time... Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned Billy, because do you remember at the very end of a previous episode we saw where it was the credits were rolling, it was a scene of the Double R Diner, the R Diner, and a guy runs by, sticks his head in the door, and says, "Has anyone seen Billy?"
Vaguely. I do vaguely remember
The captions say, instead of Billy, the captions say Bing.
Okay.
The captions were wrong. The
Sponsored
character,
by
the
Bing.
character that runs in and says that is named Bing, and he doesn't say, "Has anyone seen Bing?" He says, "Has anyone seen Billy?"
Oh, okay.
So the significance of that is that there's a very strong theory going around that Audrey Horne is still in a coma, that she is in this antiquated room because the last place she saw in the physical world was the bank where she survived the explosion, which was an antiquated decor in the bank. And that she cannot know the conversation that was heard on the other side of the phone because she was simply overhearing it from her comatose state in her hospital bed. So she cannot tell herself what was on the other end of the phone because she does not know what was on the other end of the phone. And vis-a-vis, Charlie is a manifestation of her own mind.
Sure.
A person who is keeping her from going out to the roadhouse, who will not let her escape, aka will not let her wake up. And even when he agrees to go to the roadhouse with her, she refuses to go. She changes her mind, which means that even if she chooses to wake up, she's physically incapable of doing it.
All right, yeah, okay.
She is trapped both by external and internal forces.
Oh man, I have a headache. Yeah, well, okay, if this is a metaphor for her being trapped inside a coma, or something like that, it's pretty cool. I think that's an interesting thing to sort of have this, like this husband who doesn't quite answer your questions. Like I imagine if you are, it's called locked in syndrome, as far as I know. The movie The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. If you've ever seen it, it's amazing. I have a funny story about that. I'll tell real quick. But she, like, it must be so frustrating. Like, I can't imagine a greater horror to know you're in a coma when you're in one or something, and to be so powerless to do anything about getting out of that.
And she's definitely frustrated, but she doesn't know that she's in a coma, if in fact she is in a coma, because she's right here, she's saying she knows something's wrong. She knows something is not right with this world that she's in, but she can't put her finger on it. She goes, I'm not who I should be. I am not me.
Yeah, and he doesn't give her answers that are very satisfying, so she just like responds with anger.
And she mentions Ghostwood. Ghostwood being the project that she was protesting when she got knocked into a permanent state of alleged coma while protesting at the bank. So that's the one thing that was stuck in her mind. But the one saving grace that could prove that she's not in a coma is she says that Billy is missing and has been missing for 2 days. And when Bing runs by, what does he yell into the diner? Has anyone seen Billy?
All right.
That can't be a coincidence. Is Billy real? Is he really missing? Is he a person out there? Does that lend enough credence to the fact that Audrey is not in a coma to make us think that this is actually happening in reality? But if it is happening in reality, why wouldn't Audrey know the location of the roadhouse? She should know that.
And how did she end up married to Humpty Dumpty?
Exactly.
Billy... Okay, so the thing about being... let's say she is in a coma, like... That would mean that if this Billy that she's looking for, he would have to be somebody from when she was not in the coma, probably.
Or it could be someone who is being spoken about in the hospital room while she's there, and she's picked up on that name, like the name Chuck, Billy, and so forth.
Well, story checks out. I don't know.
It seems pretty on the nose that she's in a coma, and that this world is a construct of the last thing she saw in the bank, and the external conversation that's happening at her bedside. Right. It seems, and the fact that she doesn't even know who she is, and the fact that she refuses to leave even when she gets what she wants, and is offered the chance to leave but can't.
She's sort of trapped in this weird house.
It is all playing into that, which unfortunately, if that's true, it does mean that she was raped in a coma by Mr. C, and that Richard Horne is her son.
Yeah.
Which is something none of us want to believe, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, we live on planet Earth. I mean, fucked up shit happens every day in this godforsaken hellhole of a solar system.
And the fact,
take that, God,
and
you hear me?
Yeah, if she weren't in a coma, you would think that Benjamin Horne and her family members might have referenced her or said, hey, maybe I'll call Audrey and say, what's your son up to? Is he with you? No one mentions that, though, because it's almost as though they've written her existence off because she's been in a permanent 25-year slumber.
All right, there you go. I like it. Okay. so he's like noticing she wants to stay. Hey, look, her reflection's in the mirror, or in the window. I mean, wow.
Remember that you said reflection.
Okay, reflection. All right, she's not a vampire. So she sits down, which it's like Ghostwood here, and so she's
a reference to the very thing she was protesting, which again leads a very significant amount of credence to the coma theory.
There you go, James. So real quick, the story with the Diving Bell and the Butterfly. When I was living in Chicago, I took this girl on a date, and I was like, "Let's go see this movie. I saw a commercial. It looks amazing. It's fun." Guys, for people who haven't seen the movie, dude's in. He has some sort of accident while he's driving his car, and he winds up having locked-in syndrome, and he can only blink one eye. And these nurses help him like write a book with this thing, but it's all about this internal world he has. He's got this beautiful ex-wife and his kids, and there's this amazing scene, but it's really tragic. It's a horrible movie. Like it's emotional. It's a beautiful movie. I mean,
you ever read the book Johnny Get Your Gun?
No, but it sounds great.
That terrified me. It's the same thing. It's a guy who is a soldier who's in a war, his face is blown off. He can't see, he can't hear. All he has is the ability to touch and feel temperature changes.
Oh.
So he learns how to almost communicate with people throughout the book, in knowing what time of day it is by like the feel of the sun on his face and so forth. And he's able to start tapping out Morse code on his pillow. And he's finally able to communicate to the doctors saying, please kill me, kill me, kill me in the suffering.
Yeah, that's what I
And
would
I think
want.
at the very end he realizes that...
He could get a job at Baskin-Robbins?
Yes, but he realizes that he's being kept alive as an experiment.
Oh, that's brutal.
Horrifying.
Wow. That's, all right, well, that's not... So anyway, I took this girl, we went to it, and it's a hard movie to watch. And afterwards, she didn't want to do anything after that. She's like, I just got to go home. I just need to go home. And then I find out later she cried. She went home and cried for 2 hours because her grandma had died recently, and because the guy dies in the end of the movie.
Oh.
It's a sad movie. It's a really he lives for like 2 or 3 years in this locked in syndrome thing. But this girl goes home and cries because her fucking grandma died. I didn't know your grandma died. How was I supposed to know?
That's kind of what grandma's
You gotta end a budding relationship over that? Maybe you ought to date guys who aren't jerks. I don't know. We went out a few times. It was all right. It was okay. But anyway, it's a weird way to like. Yeah, I made her cry for 2 hours because I picked a fucking bad movie.
No, the movie made her cry, not you.
Well, I know, but like, had I picked a fucking Fast and the Furious,
gone to the
I probably
Emoji
would have had
movie.
sex with her. We had saw Fast and the Furious.
You hear the Emoji Movie got
Starring-
a 7% of Rotten Tomatoes?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, almost as good as The Dark Tower.
Dark Tower got an 18%.
I know,
It
it's
deserved a 2%.
So you're saying Emoji Movie's better than Dark Tower?
I would have rather watched the Emoji Movie.
Yeah. I would rather watch paint dry as long as it's a poop emoji, a painting of it. All right, anyway, so bang bang bar, bang boom boom. All right, so I'm like, oh yes, it's finally we got to the end of the episode. Woohoo!
Okay, this part had me excited. Not because he has a pine cone.
Yes, of course it's awesome that he has a pine cone. Why does
But-
there a pine? I'm a big fan of pine cones. Check out my Instagram, everybody. Link in the description.
When this guy said the Roadhouse is proud to welcome, I was like, holy crap. The last time I saw something like this, it was 9 Inch Nails. We're going to get something special now. This is going to be great.
Moby playing bass.
Yes, and then he said James effin' Hurley, Mr. Fivehead.
Yeah.
James Hurley, in the original series, sang this god-awful song on acoustic guitar. No, it wasn't acoustic, I don't think. I think it was
whatever.
powered, but
Yeah.
whatever. He sang it to Maddie and Donna Hayward.
Okay.
It was horrific. And this is Renee, who's listening to him, who is a friend of Donna Hayward in the original series.
Yeah.
And she's the one who said in the beginning of this whole season 3, James was always cool.
He is
So
cool, just
and-
like you, James.
Yes, and then he starts singing in exactly the same voice.
Yeah.
The hideous, high-pitched, comical, cringe-inducing voice that he used in the original seasons. I don't know if he was just
Why-
lip syncing to it or what.
Yeah.
And these two people are supposed to be representative of Maddie and Donna Hayward.
Oh, okay.
They're
all right.
singing backup just like they did in the original series.
This was like listening to chalkboards fight each other.
Yeah.
This was fucking terrible.
So I could not tell if this was just a giant joke that Lynch was playing on us, expecting us to laugh, or if this is literally Lynch's impression of what is cool, and that this is really cool.
Well, it's really cool. I gotta say this.
It is painfully hilarious to me. I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I was crying. I mean, it was just weird. I just
It's
didn't
so
get.
bad.
I was already numb to all the weirdness, so it didn't even register to me that this was that crazy. I was just like, why? Okay, this guy's singing. Why does he sound like
If
that?
you hadn't seen season 1 and 2 and all that stuff, this would have meant nothing to you.
Sure. And
But
that's
if
probably
you had
why.
seen it, it would have been a hilarious throwback
I get it. I get that.
that you
yeah.
don't know whether you're supposed to take it seriously or not.
Well, they take it seriously because it went on for fucking ever. It just
did.
keeps going, and she starts to tear up. By the way, good acting. She did a great job. Her eyes got all watery, and then fluid flew
Yeah.
down her cheeks. That was pretty cool.
But getting emotional over this crap?
That's weird. He might as well be singing like themes to like Mr. Belvedere or something
Yeah.
or whatever. I can't think of how they go. But she's got a number on her arm, by the way, 7663.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything?
I don't know.
All right. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
So
She's got, go back.
All right.
She's got a rose and blue ink. Blue rose.
Well, all tattoos
assuming it's
aren't
a
all
rose.
tattoos kind of blue ink,
Yeah, they
basically.
kinda are.
Blue
But
or
if you're gonna
dark
go with the number
green,
route, I gotta
greenish,
mention that.
bluish. I like it though. That's a good catch. There's a lot like the tattoo that's by my pubis. It's a dead rose,
Thank you for that.
but it just recently died, so it looks alive. Somebody had cut it off its plant. All right.
Is it next to Deadwood?
Yes. Yeah. It's called Limpwood. I haven't had an erection in 8 years. Not since the last time I watched Fast and the Furious. All right, whistling. Oh, but she's crying. I mean, these are real tears. This is slimy face. It's good. She's doing a good job.
And his forehead has not shrunken any over the years.
Yeah, his forehead. Is that a particularly big forehead?
It looked much more pronounced in the original series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, his hair probably was high up or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's singing, and then it's not the end. And
All right, so now we are at Big Ed's gas farm.
correct. Yep.
And this again is Lynch basically being meta saying, come on guys, bear with me.
Yeah, or ring the bell for service.
Yeah.
Except if it's a Lynchian bell, it won't work, or it'll send you into some weird dimension
Okay.
where some fucking firefighter with a floating foot is gonna turn your wife into a evil monster that's gonna become a bag of marbles.
I'm only gonna say one thing before I let you take the lead on this scene.
Oh, well, all right. I got
Cera Palmer is basically a factory of Garmonbosia. Garmonbosia is what the lodge entities feed off of, pain and suffering.
Okay.
So it would not surprise me in the least bit if something is attached to her and feeding off of her.
Okay.
Big Ed has the pain of not being able to be with the one he loves, Norma. Being able to see her in a relationship with another person and being able to stand on the sidelines witnessing it. So he has his own pain and suffering that he's dealing with.
He does. Yeah.
So bearing that in mind, walk us through this scene.
All right. Well, this old guy is horny, and he's got this love of his life who's been kind of haunting him for a long time. It's been a frustrating 50 years. He's eating soup from R&R to go. It is Norma's soup, by the way. Essentially, this is the metaphor for her cherry pie. It turns out to be a gross cup of yellow fluid, and he eats it, and he's sad, and then he looks around and wishes that the bear. I don't know. That's all I got, James. How did I do?
Okay, his reflection in the window of the shop is eating the soup when he's not touching the soup.
What?
His reflection is glitching out. It's not synced up with him.
Where would it be? We can't.
Right about here.
Okay, right about here. I did not see that.
Something's going on. If you didn't see it, I encourage you to go back and rewatch it.
Okay, I am. I'm very curious. Okay.
So that makes me wonder: is something attached to Big Ed here?
Oh yeah. We can't see it. So listen, I just explained to people why James and I are having a hard time. When we take the screenshots, they come out a little dark, and I brighten it in Premiere. So we record my computer screen, and then I crop it down to the pictures, but then it has to be brightened up. So when our viewers are probably seeing it more clearly. But James, if you look really closely, it is happening. You can see like a cup moving up and down.
Yeah, and he's not touching the cup.
Yeah, but how do we? It's his. Wait a minute. Did you see this on Reddit? Has other people confirmed this, or
No, I saw it first, and then went to Reddit to confirm it.
Other people saw this?
Yes, other people saw it.
But that could just be his left arm, because if in the picture it looks like it's his left side. That would
to me, I rewatched it a couple of times.
Okay.
It looks to me as though this is deliberate.
All right.
It even looks at some point like the reflection stutters or jitters or jumps a bunch of frames ahead.
Okay.
It cannot be a mistake.
Fair enough. Yep. Based on just two screenshots that I can hardly see right now. I can't refute that at all. Yeah, okay, that's very interesting. I did not pick up on that. I'm not that observant of a watcher. I'm usually on Snapchat waiting for panties.
This is kind of like the ending sequence of the RR Diner, specifically the one where Bean came in and asked where Billy was. When it pans around the diner and cuts from shot to shot, the patrons change position or change entirely.
Yeah.
So this might be another throwback to that, because it's coming right at the credits just like that scene did, showing that something is not right in Twin Peaks, and it's not only with the main characters. Even Big Ed is affected.
All right, yeah. I dig it. And then that's starring Kyle MacLachlan. And we're done. We got to the end. Of course, this is a different ending than we're used to. We always like to look at the credits here. Anything jump out of you here, James?
Let's see. Do we see anything? Crooked Partner? No.
Smiley Fusco. All right, back at
the farm accountant, the Christopher Durbin, the guy who was standing there like the young...
The guy who offered him some money.
Yep. Richard Horn, Audrey Horn, Duncan Todd, Renzo, Charlie, Bushnell, Nadine Hurley, like we speculated before. Her name is Hurley, so she's still married to Big Ed Hurley. Do we see Big Ed here yet?
Or has her husband's
Yeah, Big Ed Hurley is right there. I mean, just because if they got divorced, I don't think Big Ed would give up his name. It doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah. So all that stuff is in there. So Dr. Lawrence Jacoby, sir. Okay, all right. So then, but then he sets a thing on fire or whatever that is, a piece of paper.
Yeah, walk with me.
Firewalk with me.
I don't quite know why he burned that thing.
Is it someone's phone number? And then we got. Oh, I noticed something in one of these that down at the end here. There was a. Oh, it's gone. Sorry, it's French tax rebate, California. It's weird that they had a French tax rebate. That must have been in France. Well, anyway, I don't know.
I can tell you what all those unions mean.
No, it's fine. Oh, yeah, Jesse. Oh, this is what I noticed. David Lynch wrote that song.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me one bit.
Is that James Marshall, the actual singer?
Yes, that's James Hurley.
Yeah. Right here, James Marshall. Okay, cool. So that's the end, guys.
Big Ed is his uncle, I believe.
Right. So cool. We're there. We made it to the end. James, any predictions for the next one, or did you like this episode? I know they're two separate questions.
No, I kind of liked it.
Cool.
It moved things on in its own way.
Yeah.
So
There were some perplexing scenes in this. I don't know why we needed to find about the franchise status of the fucking diner, or but the Audrey Horne thing is fascinating. That you caught me off guard with that one. I like that potential coma situation. So we all like a good potential coma situation.
But it could be thwarted by the whole presence of Billy.
Yeah.
There's that little single loose thread hanging out there. If you pull it, maybe the whole thing falls apart.
And when Bing comes in, he's going, no, it's actually Google.
Bing being David Lynch's son. This is the guy who portrays Bing.
All right. Bing Lynch.
Yes. Well,
cool.
No, but yes.
All right. Great. All right.
Alrighty.
So, cool. All right, everybody. That's the end. Hope you enjoyed our recap. Please like, subscribe, and check out our description. And if you do want to get updates, I always leave updates about like the editing status of stuff. And like I notified our Twitter followers at SuckProfessor or at VideoJamesSP if you want to fight with him on there, or tell him how handsome and intelligent he is. James hates Twitter. That's why I'm trying to push it. But hit it up at SuckProfessor.